Hello, listeners, and you're listening to the Choking Hazard Podcast. I'm your host, Nostog, along with our esteemed co-host, RDT33. Say hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Yes, we are back, and we are in charge today. Oh, boy, we're going to get up to some fantastic things today. And we've got a very, very special guest. We've got the man with the maths. We've got number 2 on the field and number 1 in your heart. We've got Broughy1322 on the show as our guest. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's amazing to finally be on the podcast, I've got to say.
Yeah, we've been wanting to get you for a while, but schedule conflicts and whatnot. You're just never available. You finally managed to free yourself up.
I'm always so busy.
You are very important. You are a very important guest.
Have you ever watched the podcast before?
Yeah.
I haven't actually. I've never seen it. I saw.
Never seen it? No.
I saw a bit of the one with GTA Man, but I turned off pretty quickly.
Oh, you saw the one with GTA Man? Yeah, those are good episodes.
Oh,
no, they were really good episodes. Thanks for coming on, GTA Man. Well, we'd love to have you back. But this day isn't about GTA Man. Today is about the man, the myth, the legend, Broughy1322.
Never heard of this guy. Who is that guest? Boo, worst guest. Well, I know when I'm not wanted. I guess I'll just leave them.
Yeah, just hide your screen and
just ignore the chat. They're crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the chat. They never pick the right choke. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Wait, what do you mean
have
chokes?
You on.
What happens?
On the Choking Hazard podcast. How you want to explain who you are? You want to tell people who might not know who you are about yourself? What you do, why you're on here at all, and go from there.
What kind of content do you produce?
I produce GTA related racing content. It's almost ridiculous that I'm having to say this when everybody knows.
Just pull through.
Hey man, there are people that just
there's like 2 people who just
podcast.
Listen on iTunes. Okay,
that's
shout
true.
out.
That is true.
No idea
okay.
who you are.
Going to work or coming home, we've got the greatest hits non-stop on 103.2 The Scum.
GTA racing content, testing vehicles, testing cars in GTA, find which ones are the quickest. That's primarily what I do, I would say. Racing in GTA, racing in general, in real life. Stuff like that.
In real life? You do racing in real life? Did you say?
I dabble.
What kind? Like foot racing? You race people on what do you do?
Karting.
Karting,
Yes.
like go-karts?
Go-karts.
Like Mario Kart?
And I'm aiming to get exactly like Mario Kart, yes.
What kind of weapons do you are you using weapons? Like what? Like how'd you get into that? What made you interested in go-karting or karting, as the cool kids call it?
Well, it's motorsport, isn't it? It's the easiest way to. It's like the equivalent of taking a ball to a field and playing some football. It's to motorsport. You can't just jump into a F1 car and go drive it. Karting is the way that you do some real life racing without, just entry level stuff.
Okay.
Plus, I love motorsport, so It's
How
funny, I've been on my own podcast, I've been trying to get a racing corner started, but my other hosts won't have it. It's really annoying.
Yeah, it sounds really terrible. It sounds really awful.
Maybe the motorsport you want them to watch should be more entertaining.
God damn it.
So you do testing with vehicles, right? That's what your main thing is.
Mm-hmm.
So do you do it all around one circuit, or do you take the off-road vehicles around an off-road circuit?
Oh my god.
That would make sense, wouldn't it? I mean,
it would make sense. I mean, because I want to know how off-road vehicles perform in an off-road situation. I don't want to know how they perform on some street circuit. That'd be useless information.
I mean, utterly useless. Makes zero sense whatsoever why anyone would think that whatever,
Is this how this is going to go? All these questions are going to be just exactly the same.
You agreed to come on our show, okay? We asked the questions, the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, we asked the questions here, not
All
you.
right. I have explained this in a video before. But
Oh my God, you're actually gonna answer the question.
I am going to answer the question. You asked it. You dug your own hole with this one. Okay, I'm not going to answer. Forget it.
I was about to get RDT ready for the music to play you off if you answered.
Yeah, don't worry. We got some stuff planned. But yeah, what made you want to test the cars in GTA at all? Like, what drove you to create that content and that series?
I was making videos on Gears of War and other racing stuff like Forza Horizon and things like that, and then GTA came out, and I figured, I'll just start making some videos on GTA instead, some discussion videos, just me racing in the game, stuff like that. And then the next thing that I know, I start seeing on forums people saying that the Carbonizer is the quickest car in the game based on all the stats. And then I looked at some YouTube videos and I saw big YouTubers saying the same thing. The Carbonizer is the best car in the entire game because of the stat bar totals in game all adding up to the maximum amount at that point. You take the speed, acceleration, traction, all that kind of stuff. It all adds up to the most. So I was like, wait, this can't be right.
Yeah.
And then I started to, because I, like, from driving in the game and doing some random races, I knew that the Entity was the quickest in the supercars class, just based on driving it, honestly. And then I see that people are saying that the Adder is the best car in the supers class, and I'm like, what is going on? So I just thought, you know what, let's do some testing. Let's take these cars around the track, one person, one track. Let's see what lap times they get. And then that was the start of it. And then since then, I've just continued to test all the cars that have been released and retest them, and test them way too many times, honestly. So that was the reason. It was because of the misinformation that was out there that I wanted to try and educate people. But people didn't like it. People weren't happy.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, how do you feel about in the early days when on like the GTA forums, people would kind of discount your testing and say, this is just one guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. How can this be true? Just because one guy says it, we're just going to agree with that from now on? I don't think so, bud.
Yeah, the car can't even get up to top speed on your track. I mean, you're testing. It's useful.
It's lacking.
Yeah.
No.
It's definitely good as a guideline. Okay.
The thing is, the reason, the way that I got like a significant influx of subscribers initially from Reddit, and someone just posted my sports and supercars video on Reddit, and that got me like quite a few subscribers from that, and then it just went on from there.
Videos on right now, by the way, are those still your most viewed videos?
That original testing video is still my most viewed video. It's on like 800 and something thousand. It's crazy.
And do people still comment like, what about the Zentorno?
No, not anymore. I still get
Auto?
that on some old videos, though. I do actually get that on some old videos. Like, what about this car? Oh, you missed out this car. And it's like, look at the date.
This was in December 2013. Look at the date.
But now I get comments on that video saying, "Oh, back in the good old days," or "Back, can you believe that there was only 7 supercars?"
This is
back
when
then.
Brough had a $2 microphone, man. The good days.
Yeah. But yeah, it was initially posted on Reddit, that video in particular, and the comments on there were like, there was a lot of comments that were positive about it, but a lot very, very negative. Like, I know for a fact that the Coquette is the best sports car in the game. I don't know how this guy can I don't know how this guy can say the Elegy gets a better lap time. The Coquette is by far the best, and I know this myself. And I had that comment, repeated for every single car in the game.
I've beaten many Elegies in the Coquette. I mean,
Exactly.
Obviously, it's because the Coquette is faster. Not because the guy in the Elegy was level 2, got his free car, and drinks paint on a daily basis.
The Elegy doesn't even cost any monies. And the
I
Coquette
know,
costs like
how can it, the free car? How can that possibly? And the Adder's the most expensive, so it must be the fastest, of course.
Obviously, I mean,
but I got a lot of those comments, but I still get a lot of those comments now, especially if I see my videos, get a bit more of a wider reach. Say they get spread to just areas, and people see my videos that have never seen what I do before. But back then I found it a lot more difficult to deal with because I hadn't really dealt with that before. Now I kind of, or what I learned through dealing with that was that a lot of it is more so a case of just not getting it, not understanding the way that the testing is, what's happening, the limitations of it and the benefits of it, what it's doing, all that kind of stuff. And people will just, blinkers on, look at their own experiences in game and take that for fact and not understand the point of testing or what value that has. So, it took me a while to figure that out and learn it, but now when I get those comments, I just kind of like, well, I tried, I tried to explain it. I tried to, all I can do is put it out there, and if people want to listen, they'll listen. If not, they won't. So
that's a great way to think about it. So we touched on your love of motorsport, but what really got you into that? Like, what drew you to motorsport itself? Were you a kid? Were you an adult? Do you like things that go vroom? Like, what happened? What?
I always used to watch Formula One as a kid. So that was always something that was there every week. Well, every time it was on TV, I'd watch it. But I also used to play on the Sega Mega Drive Micro Machines, and that was, and then there was this other racing game. I can't remember what it's called.
Racers?
It's kind of like Tiny Racers, but a million times better.
I don't think that's possible.
But that was probably my earliest experience of racing, Micro Machines, and this other sort of 2D scroller racing game that I had on there. And I guess I just grew up with that. I continued getting racing games. I remember I had one of the F1 games. I think it was F1 97 or something like that for the N64. And then
N64. Damn.
What a
number one console of all
what
time.
a console.
The physics in that game were A+.
Top notch.
Best console.
Maybe get an emulator and play back through those. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I've still got my N64.
Just as a side thing.
I still have my N64, so I could try and rig it up.
Oh yeah, you do have an N64. Yeah,
I've got two of them. If anybody wants, we'll do a Nintendo 64 giveaway on the stream in 3 months when I stream again.
Oh yeah.
So stay tuned, everybody. It's coming up quick. But yeah, so that's kind of something that you were just every week you would just watch it because it was interesting to you. And,
it was just kind of, I got absorbed into motorsport that way by playing the games that were relating to racing, by watching Formula One, and it was just part of normal daily stuff. And then as I got older and I started to get sort of the Forza Motorsport games and Gran Turismo, I learned more about actually the nuances of racing properly and stuff like that. So I just got more and more into it.
So you were talking about little Broughy with the N64. Let's segue with that. Tell me a little more. I don't care about Broughy, okay?
Okay.
I don't really care about him.
Bit of a scumbag.
I care about Adam. I care about
Adam.
Tell me a little bit about Adam. How's Adam doing? How's Adam's upbringing? Some background on you. I'm interested.
Whatever you care to delve into.
How personal are you wanting?
Whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Like what brought you to video games? What kind of did you have friends? Or we all know about
background that we totally don't know about in any way.
We know about Tony. We know about Dreykov. What about Adam? What was his relationship with himself?
Oh, this is getting deep.
We're getting philosophical here.
Yeah. Jesus. Adam, what was? I guess, and this is weird talking about myself.
On our podcast, what guests? What else are you talking?
I mean, the gaming sort of things has always been part of my life. I've always enjoyed games. The Sega Mega Drive was my first game. I probably got it when I was like 5 or 6, and then ever since then I'd had a new console whenever my family I guess could afford it, and then I would enjoy playing games and that kind of stuff. So I was never shy or anything. Well, I guess I was shy, but not. I had friends. I was okay at school, all that kind of stuff. But I used to enjoy, coming home and just chilling and playing games. I guess that continued all the way through secondary school and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely an introvert. Let's put it that way. I'm not an extrovert.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's
you'd never
extremely
imagine, would you?
No, I mean you're not, this bombastic, Raggedy Dan type, but
No.
you're
Who?
still putting yourself out. What did you say? Who?
Yeah.
He just donated actually, saying thanks for having me on the podcast, folks. But I don't have any of the notifications on today because it's a special podcast. But I will play them all at the end.
Excuse me.
He said in the chat. Poking the bear.
You don't have this bombastic attitude.
No.
But you still put yourself out there. You still put content out on the internet for scrutiny, and you've definitely been scrutinized. And you talked about how you've been through that. Is it easier now to deal with scrutiny now that you have such a large following and such a dedicated fan base than when you were just starting out and getting that criticism?
Yeah, I would say definitely. In the early days, it was, very difficult. I mean, you learn as you do this how to deal with it as well. Like as I've grown on YouTube, I've learned how to deal with it. Like I said, the way that I think about it is slightly different and all that kind of stuff. I have more understanding of where those kind of comments and criticism come from. And sometimes I'm feel like I've gotten better now at being able to, decipher really legitimate criticism to just, random not understanding what's going on. So if there is legitimate criticism or problems, I can now, try and fix it and look at it properly. But when as I was growing up, I guess I would have never been very good at dealing with that. And it's probably still something that I'm not perfectly good at. But when I first started with with the comments and stuff like that, I did find it quite difficult. And I think the teenage Broughy stuff that happened when that was kind of how I used to deal with annoyances like that and things like that. I'm a lot more mellow now.
They didn't comment back, so.
Well, I suppose that's true. They didn't reply back.
No response. Shut them down, boy.
They probably deleted their account, just uninstall everything. Uninstall Windows. This guy's cool. He's eviscerated me. I've got to, I got to
reevaluate my life.
But that was sort of something that I'd never really, and before online gaming, I'd never experienced that kind of stuff as well. And the group of friends that I had throughout school and all that kind of stuff, it was always a small, tightly knit group of friends rather than being in a big group where there's all drama or
that's always better,
criticism or things like that. So
you need 3 or 4 good friends. That's all you need.
That's pretty much how it was. And we all used to play games, video games. We were all interested in the same sort of stuff. So it was just I had a pretty, not a very whatever the word is, like tumultuous period through education or anything like that. So I guess that teenage Broughy thing was kind of the first time where I had some annoyance from somebody, and I obviously reacted in the way that I did, and then
it's probably just 18 years of frustration finally boiling over.
Maybe, yeah.
That's just everyday life living in England for 18 years.
And then just one day that Rey Mysterio came along.
So yeah, I guess from you asked about education, from an education perspective, I've always had a decent going through that, relatively decent.
What is relatively decent? Explain. Like everyone has a different definition of relatively decent in school. Is your relatively decent straight A's? I'm guessing.
I mean, you have a master's degree, don't you? Like, don't you have a?
I guess, yeah.
Like, come on, this is your chance to brag about it.
You don't just.
I don't want to brag. I don't like to brag. Like, I got A's. All right, I got A's at school and then college.
See, thank you. That's what we needed.
But
so you did great. You had great grades. That's what you're saying.
I guess.
You can be honest on our show, man. No one here takes personal.
Yeah.
But then I went to uni. Because I guess when it came to school and then college after that, because over here we have secondary school and then you go to college for 2 years for basically your GCSEs at secondary school, get you into your college to do A levels, and then the A levels get you into a university. And I'd never really had any issues through school and college, so I'd just do the work that was set, do the homework that was set, didn't really have to do any extra than that, and I would get A's and I'd be fine. And then it got to uni, and I went to a particularly sort of not the most prestigious, but one of the most prestigious unis in the UK, and it was to do just straight maths. And I was always good at maths at school, but mathematics at university is sort of completely different, especially at a sort of more hardcore university like that. And I really just did not like it at all. So at that point, I really had to work hard to just get through that sort of 3 years and get that degree in maths. And I feel like it was so that achievement to get that degree, even though it wasn't a high level, in terms of grades or anything, that was so much more work than actually all my school stuff. And then I went to get a master's degree after that, which I was able to get a distinction in. So I kind of reevaluated everything and was able to come back stronger, I guess, after the downtime and not doing very well at the main degree. But yeah, I mean, and then I went and made YouTube videos, so I don't really use my degrees.
Well, with your degree, is it kind of hard to be this humble? Because if I had a master's, I think I'd be like, hey, did I tell you I got a master's? Hey,
Yeah.
see my master's? I keep it framed on my wall. Hey, that's my master's.
I could teach at a university, but I just choose.
Yeah. How do you deal with that inside yourself, that you've done such an achievement and you don't tell anybody? Like, that's the only reason I would ever do something like that, is just to tell everybody.
I guess I don't know. I don't really feel that I need to tell anybody. I just do what I do, and I get what does it really matter? I got a degree. I did well. I'm happy about it. I'm proud of my achievements. But why does anybody else really care? I don't feel the need to tell anybody.
I would shove it down their throat. I work so
I don't
hard.
really. I'm not like that. I don't want to let people know if they don't want to know something. It's like in conversations, I've always been one who will sort of stand back and listen more than I'll just speak, because I'm genuinely interested in what people have to say, and most of the time, I feel like people aren't interested in what I have to say.
I don't believe that at all.
All right, apart from maybe
maybe
podcasts and things where I've got some specific thing that I want to talk about, but
I've seen your podcast and you talk a lot. I don't think you just sit back and let people talk all the time. But yeah,
okay, fine.
cool. That's nice to get that little insight into what the inner workings of your mind.
But I
And
do
how
feel
they
like
are
my
in a
degrees
big
have
way.
definitely helped in doing YouTube. It allows me. It's not
Well, I
exactly.
imagine it builds discipline, having to do all of that just ridiculous work I'm sure you had to do. So much work.
It does, and the critical thinking that's involved in a master's degree, and then I did a master's degree in, I think it was business management. It was, but that was more sort of writing related. It was all essays, which I hadn't really done since secondary school. So, like, I've got a well-rounded skill set, I guess, that I got from education. So it does help me in that respect. And obviously, the testing and the scientific way that I do my testing on YouTube is come directly from the way that I think about things, from being mathematically oriented and stuff, even if I wouldn't be able to do any crazy calculations or formulas that the mathematicians can properly do in their day job. But yeah, it's valuable. It definitely helps me, but I don't really want to shove it down people's throats. It is what it is.
Yeah, if I, like I said, if I did something that impressive, it would become me, I think. That's why I need to stay just as unimpressive as possible, so I can stay.
Mouse would just walk around in his graduation robes every day.
Yeah.
I graduated from college, right? Like, yeah, we get it. We get it.
Well, to be fair, down here in Alabama, that's very impressive. So, graduating high school is impressive.
It's looked down upon to seek further education.
Yeah.
All that unnecessary book learning.
You mean you don't want to be a diesel mechanic? You know?
What?
I'll throw a number out there that I want you to answer. And Mr. Mathman, if you had to take a random wild guess, just some crazy number, how many times do you think you've gone around your test track and cutting corners combined? Like your new test track and the original one combined.
And the original one. It wasn't too long ago that I was trying to figure this out, at least to some degree. It must be getting close to around 10,000 now, I think. I would say.
Jesus.
I mean, there's
Twice the laps.
there's sort of the way that you can look at it is there's like all around 350, 400 vehicles, and I've taken each one around the track, say between 5 and 10 times. But then you take in all the retests and doing vehicles again, and then you take in all the old gen stuff on the old cutting corners. It's definitely over 5,000, and it's definitely less than 10,000, but it's in between, somewhere like that. So
That ain't fun.
It's
That is
a
not
lot of
fun at
laps. Yeah, I don't like to think about it too much.
I would imagine so. Jeez. When do you enjoy doing it still?
New vehicles, I do, and say they were to just release a brand new class with 10 new vehicles in the class, I would enjoy taking them out and trying to find out which one's the quickest. It's not the actual, I don't think the doing of it is what I enjoy. It's finding out the results afterwards and knowing which one's better than the other and all that kind of stuff. But
the nuances of the cars and what makes them go fast,
absolutely
go real good. Yeah.
But I mean, the top speed testing is it's just mind-numbingly boring, because you got to do 5 runs of each car and then put it into the video editing stuff and work out how long it takes.
Okay, that's your own fault for wanting to be that thorough. I would definitely just take it down once. Like, there's no way I'd do it 5 times.
Yeah, I know. I guess I could.
Or I'd do it once and tell everybody I did it 5 times. That's
I could cut corners, but that's just not something that I do. Imagine how much time Broughy could have saved if he was just 1 second quicker per lap. It all adds up. But yeah, it's. I hate, the one thing that I hate is I don't enjoy the top speed testing, but again, I enjoy getting the results. I enjoy more testing new cars on the track and then getting their results. But the one thing that I can't stand now is retesting. It kills me to take the downforce vehicles. I've tested the RE7B and especially the ones we got from Cunning Stunts, the ETR1, the Tyrus. I've tested them so many times now, because they've changed so many times. And if Rockstar were to make a big change that changes like all the lap times significantly, I wouldn't. I'm
quit.
pretty sure I wouldn't be able to handle that, and I wouldn't be able to. I'd maybe just do supercars or something like that. I wouldn't be able to go through all the vehicles again, just because I can't stand doing it twice.
Where's the tough questions? Oh, that's a good one. Let's think of something. Yeah. Now, I do have a question for you, though, that I think some people might be interested in as far as the top speed testing is concerned. And that is, why don't you just do a long piece of stunt track and just do that?
Is this another off-road vehicles on an off-road track question, or do you genuinely want an answer?
I genuinely want to know.
Because I have answered this already.
Well, some people that just listen to the podcast may not have heard it.
Well, the first thing is that testing on a really long stunt road piece, the top speeds of all cars are actually slower than what they are on regular roads. So
that's because of the bumps, probably, right?
It's because of there's a lot of little micro bumps on regular roads that gives an increase in speed. So you're not getting that increase in speed on just a totally flat stunt piece. But
so then you're not getting really like the real top speed, then, are you?
Not on a stunt piece, you're not.
No, I mean, if you're going.
But then what is it? Yeah, then that opens up the question of what is the real top speed? Is it when you're in the city going over more bumps? Is it going over no bumps? Is it going over a mix? You know.
But you get a completely neutral environment and get the entire.
And then the
scope of
second
what
reason that I don't do it is going to answer that. Is because of relevance. Like testing has to be relevant, and in what race are you ever on a 5 mile long completely flat stunt road piece where you're never curb boosting or anything like that? Even stunt road pieces.
As a drag racing enthusiast, that's all I ever do in GTA.
What, 5 miles? Like a good 2 minutes just on a straight line?
5 mile drag races.
No jumps.
There's nothing wrong with different ways to
Non-contact.
test, and there's nothing wrong with different testing methods. I just choose to do my testing methods to give the most generic and most applicable results. So you're going to get higher top speeds in the city. There's going to be some cars that are slightly better than others with the more bumps you've got. There's going to be slower top speeds on a totally flat stunt track piece, but some cars are going to be better than others. Downhills, uphills, there's all sorts of variations. But I feel like testing on a regular road is as relevant as it could possibly be for one specific test to be. And I'm not going to go test on multiple different ways because it would just kill me.
When are we getting the GTA 5 terminal velocity testing where you drop the car from a plane and see what its terminal velocity is? Because that's some useful information on stunt races. Which cars fall the fastest?
I don't think... Because people ask me to do extra testing as well. Like, this is... People want acceleration tests and all this kind of stuff. And first of all, acceleration tests are just incredibly inaccurate because there's so many different variables involved. But I just can't fit in any more testing. Like, I'm at a limit of testing every single vehicle around the track and for top speed. That's it. That's my limit. I can't do any more unless I just didn't stream or didn't make any other videos apart from just only testing. So I have to, find a balance somewhere, and I try to just cover the two things that are the most relevant, I feel, or the most generic in the most relevant and relatable way possible.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, sure.
Is that not satisfactory for you?
Whatever floats your boat, man. It's your channel. You can do whatever you want. But just saying, stunt track, just it's long and straight. That's all.
There's other people that do stunt track testing anyway, so I don't need to cover that.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, let's move on from your love of accurate testing and mathematical and scientific performance and move on to the love of your future wife and how that relationship has bloomed. Segues on point.
Segues on point.
Now,
that's impressive.
You started streaming. You built up this following of streaming viewers. Just forget that. You had people that watched you stream.
Yes, I do.
A very common thing on Twitch, for those that don't know, is a thing called a raid. It's what the kids call. And that's when a streamer is ending the stream and they send their viewers over to pillage and rob another streamer.
Yes.
And one day, a lovely young lady caught the eye of our one Adam Broughy1322. That's on his driver's license. Don't ask, don't look. And he said, that's my wife. Everybody go follow. No, that's not what happened. What happened in that, if you care to share, how did that relationship unfold after that first raid where you're like, go this Swedish lady, go look at her.
Well, to back up a little bit, I didn't even know that I was raiding a girl at that point. Like when I was looking through the thumbnails on YouTube, on Twitch for who to raid, and Zexy has a little Butters from South Park follower icon when someone followed, and that happened to be on the thumbnail at the time, and I just saw that and I was like, oh, it's Butters. Okay, we'll raid this person, and then I clicked open and it turned out to be Zexy, and I was like, ooh.
Like,
She's nice.
God damn.
That's my reaction whenever I see a pretty woman. It's just, ooh.
My lady.
So yeah, I was like, okay, well, everybody read them, and from what she said to me afterwards is that all of my viewers who went in to speak were all so nice that she was like, well, wow, these are, because she'd had raids before, but the viewers can vary from nice to, depending on.
Especially for a
Yeah,
stream.
I think
Yeah,
we could all
of
use our
course.
imagination
Yeah.
on something like that. But
Yeah.
Instead of show us your chair, it's probably usually something else.
Exactly.
They wanted to show something else. So,
But because everybody was so nice, she thought, oh, that might be a reflection of the person who sent everybody or who streams. And yeah, I ended up staying in her stream for pretty much the rest of that night. I think just chatting just speaking in the chat, and then I tried to play.
Stay in her stream for the rest of your lives. Boom. Anyway, keep going.
Well, I tried to play cool. I was
Of course you did.
such a fool.
oh, you tried to. Oh, hey, Tony.
Yeah.
In the she's told me since that she was just like interested straight away. She looked my YouTube channel up and stuff like that, and in the end she ended up chasing me a little bit because so I got there's something going on. But yeah, I didn't say anything. I didn't go into her stream or into her chat or try to contact her otherwise for like the Monday and the Tuesday. The raid happened on the Sunday, and then I think it was the Wednesday when it was my next stream. And I made a offhanded comment at the start saying that girl that we raided on Sunday was really nice or something like that. And then it was RDT, this man right here. You probably don't remember. You went into her stream and said that I was talking about her. So when she finished her stream on that Wednesday, she came into my chat and started talking to me, and then we just spoke ever since then.
Oh, well, you can thank me. You just send me an invite to the wedding. That's
Okay.
That's all I want. That's fine. You got to pay for
RDT groomsman confirmed.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And you were no doubt doing it, just to embarrass me, of course. But it worked out pretty well in the end.
What
and then we just continued talking, and she was coming over to the UK.
RDT.
We met up,
and that's how I met your mother.
And that's how I met. Yes.
Damn.
So I was planning to like try and contact her, at some point anyway, because she seemed nice. But you just speeded up the process, really.
Swag. Wow.
11 out of 10 wingman, indeed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I didn't expect that to come back onto me. That's awesome.
So, you got any advice once I get big and start rating women? You got any advice?
What? No, don't say that. First, rule number 1: don't use that term. Don't say that you're going around rating women. That's rule number 1.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my God. I have no advice. I'm genuinely in awe that it worked for me, frankly. So I have no good advice. We just happened to. It was one of those. I never believe in fate or anything like that. But the way that everything worked out and how alike we are and how good of a fit we are, and the such a small percentage chance that it was her that I chose to raid. That. It was just. I have no advice. I couldn't say do this, and then you'll find a girl through raiding. Maybe if you just raid every single girl on Twitch.
Stop.
Eventually have low enough. Yes, I see. That's my strategy with women in life. So thank you for telling me something I already know. I appreciate it. Okay, so can we move on to the next topic?
Do we have a next topic? I'm kind of lost. I'm lost for words right now. Yeah, what a wholesome story turned into just like nonsense.
Yeah, I ruined it. I'm sorry.
Demonetized.
That's what I do. I ruin this show.
So, what are your plans for the future of your content, of your YouTube channel? It's getting tough out there. It's hard out there for YouTubers, and is it going to be
especially
more
a GTA YouTuber? Is it getting GTA getting a little stale?
Yeah,
you've added streams to your schedule. I'm assuming when GTA 6 comes out in 20 years, you might jump on that. But what are your plans for the future?
I mean, we keep saying about how GTA is dying and growing stale and all that kind of stuff, and it just never seems to go away. But
yeah, well, at the very least, it's going to die for you eventually.
Yeah,
So-
I guess. But I feel like at this point, GTA is just a means to play with people. Everybody has it. We can jump into a lobby and do some fun stuff. And then in my other streams, I'm, playing other games. I'm working that into my streams more, playing different games. And from the YouTube side, again, I'm trying to work in different things and trying to figure out what I enjoy doing. I guess I'm still just more about doing what I enjoy, and as long as I continue enjoying it, I'll keep doing it. So I don't really have any major plans. I'm not
Just go with
driven
the
that
flow.
way. I'm just kind of
Yes.
going with the flow. Yeah, I don't set goals in terms of must have this many subscribers by this date, and it's way lower than it's going to be anyway. So you can say that you've been successful and hit your goal. Like, I'm not interested in all of that. I just enjoy making videos. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy spending time with this community that I have on Twitch, or especially on specifically on Twitch, because the people in the chat and who come to my streams, and it's just great fun times I have. So yeah, I want to do real life racing properly, but that's kind of just a side thing. I don't expect that to become the focus of my entire YouTube channel. I'm going to continue to do GTA to a certain degree and then see what else takes my fancy beyond that.
Nice.
As long as I'm enjoying it, as long as everybody else is enjoying it.
It's a good attitude to have. Very good attitude to have.
You don't even have to worry about if anyone else enjoys it. That's how you did the first 7 years of your YouTube career.
I
It was
guess
like,
that's true. I
just
guess.
putting stuff out that I want to do, and then
Yeah.
eventually people found you.
Yeah, that's true. Still amazes me, honestly. But I'm grateful for it.
And we're grateful for you. And
Yes.
I think, Nas, you think that's we can wrap up
Yeah, I think
our
that's a
guest
wrap.
segment?
We can go ahead and kick him out of the Skype call.
All right, yeah, we're gonna. Thanks for coming, Brough.
Oh, thanks. Are you going to do your regular stuff now?
Yeah, we'll
yeah, our regular segments.
all right, Nas, what moonshine are you reviewing today? Is that-
Oh man, you should have told me something about this. I would have found a mason jar and filled it with water.
this is white lightning.
Yes.
Don't put a flame to this.
Yeah, this is apple pie. It is very tasty. One jar, you're done.
Well, that was fun.
And
That
by
was
done,
fun.
I mean dead.
All right, yeah, this is gonna be. Ignore this part. If you're, we're transitioning from Nas and myself, our podcast, into the 1 year anniversary of the Choking Hazard podcast.
We're
with
back to
You're
normal.
the bottom.
Broughy1322.
Aren't
And
you
his
should
the
I-
bottom right?
Wait, the question is, should I switch the screens now so we're back to normal?
Don't switch. You need to physically
screw
in
anything up.
OBS drag your camera up to the top left.
No,
as
that's way too
unprofessional
much
as
work.
possible.
I would switch.
Aw.
Well, let the
So
chat decide. Does the chat want to see it continued like this in this format, or do you want it back to usual, back to normal like
Tell him
this?
to drag himself into the top left. That's what. Tell it. Drag him.
Do you want
Go-
new format or regular format?
Tell
What do you
Brough to go
want?
drag himself. That's
Switch and redress. Well, the dressing up. We dressed up in shirts because it's the 1 year anniversary of the podcast.
Yeah. And Nas doesn't have his pink shirt, so somebody had to wear one.
yeah. I gave it to my cousin to get married in. So
Really?
yes, really. That's
At least one part of you is going to be happy for the rest of his life.
Dragon, if it's off by a pixel, we riot. No. Well, most people have said either regular or drag it, so we're gonna go back to the regular, the normal thing. But yeah, we're
All right. So
that
it's
was
been a
fun.
year.
It was weird being a guest. That's something that you guys have wanted to do for a while. Ever since we started the podcast, right? That's been an idea.
Yeah, you were a guest.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
we'll
was
have
a
some
guest.
episodes where RDT and myself are the guests in the future.
Yeah, we could do that.
No, that will
No.
not happen.
No,
Why not?
I'm not quite interesting enough.
That's a lie. I know that is a lie.
So yeah, this is the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. Thought we'd mix it up a little bit for the first bit and do an
1
idea that we
year,
wanted to
holy
do. But
cow.
can you believe it?
I can't.
1 year. This is episode
Yeah.
29. We got 29 episodes done in a year.
It's not 52, but
Yeah.
it's good enough.
The thing is, it'll
Sorry.
probably be less next year, though, won't it? Because we're doing it. We started off the podcast doing it once a week, and now we're definitely doing it once every 2 weeks. So it's going to be.
Well,
you know.
that's up for debate, to be fair.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
You know, we can do it every week. You know, just one. I think like 25% of us don't want to do it every week. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yes, happy birthday to the podcast.
Happy,
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
You can
podcast.
actually unironically say happy birthday.
Yeah.
Wow. Yay.
Because I've been totally hands off with this episode. Normally, you know, I start it, I introduce it, and then I have a listing of things that we're going to do, and I steer it through to what we're doing. But I've just totally not done anything because these guys wanted to, you know, organize it themselves. But did you have anything planned for after your segment? Anything?
Oh, no,
related?
of course not.
No, of
No.
course not. No.
No.
Nothing at
Like
all.
that.
We were just going to discuss what we've liked about this past year and
Okay.
Yeah.
How
I
we've
need
all
to fit in
matured
some
and
self-promotion at some point, but, you know, we can do that later.
How we've all matured. Yeah, I looked back at the very first episode today and just saw the difference.
As, hey, let's have some Nas's old room nostalgia, isn't he? You know?
Yeah, your old room. Well, we were all in
Yeah.
different locations now to when we started.
Yeah,
it.
we were here. In fact, I wonder if I can do a little bit of this right here. A little bit of this.
what are you doing? What are you?
Whoa, the room! Whoa.
No.
Wow.
Here's the
Stuff.
new room. There's a not so new room. I've been here since like December, but you know.
And about the couch.
Yeah, the couch. Yeah. But
Best guest
We've
so
all-
far. Too bad he left early. Had a good question for him. Well, we'll still be doing the usual stuff, but we also have a special choking hazard podcast choke of the week because it's never a choke of the week anymore, but especially so this time because it's going to be the choke of the year, and we've chosen the best 5 that we
Isn't that
think of
exciting?
all the winners for the choke of the week, and you guys can vote on the ultimate best choke of the year. But yeah, that first episode, that was something. I haven't actually listened to it.
Oh, no.
I don't want to.
I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me enough to watch that. I haven't watched it once.
It would
That was probably the worst thing.
Yeah,
Honestly.
probably. But that's the way these things are. I feel like, you know, in the last few episodes, we've gotten a better. Since we did that feedback episode a few episodes ago, where we asked people for feedback, we've gotten a good, you know, idea of what we're doing. We've got some good segments, especially some coming in as well that we haven't done yet. So it's just how
Much
it
better
is.
chemistry too, just
Yeah.
between the 3 of us.
Yeah, we know what we're doing, well, we don't know exactly what we're doing. We're not professional or anything, but
No.
it always gets better with time.
Excuse
So-
me, I'm very professional.
Oh, sorry.
He's wearing a button-down shirt right now.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
don't you ever
Sorry.
claim that Nas is unprofessional.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've all dressed. It was only RDT who actually had a shirt on initially when we started, and then the idea was put out there somewhere that we should all wear shirts, and then Nos was like, "Well, I will if you will," and I was like, "Right, we're doing it.
Yeah.
You have to.
It's
It's a birthday
unfortunate I only have
celebration."
like 3 shirts like this. So
Was it on purpose that there's a host for each platform? I guess not really. It's just how it worked out.
No,
I mean-
but there was a thing that we wanted to do eventually. It was the console war between the 3 of us.
console
That has
wars,
been in
yeah.
since the beginning,
Yeah.
which is going to be a slaughter
That's-
by me
yeah.
because Xbox
Oh,
One
yeah.
is so superior to
Oh, of
everything
course.
else. But you know, we can try it at some point. But
Thing
Yeah,
is,
someday.
I'm on all 3 platforms, and I know the positives and negatives of all of them. So maybe we need to get a 4th. Like our guest should be hardcore PS4 fanboy.
GTA man back again. For,
You
for
3.
another.
You 3 can battle it out, and I'll sort of be adjudicator. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. But let's reflect on the podcast. Do we have any favorite moments? Actually, what are your favorite episodes of the podcast? I know mine.
I think I know yours as well.
I don't think I've even thought about it. You guys go then. Let me have a look.
RDT.
I think even though we didn't, my favorite moment I think It wasn't in the best episode because we didn't really treat our guests with much
Oh no, here we go.
much respect or anything, or like treat him like he should have been. Was the introduction of Ulysses Northcutt. I think that was one of the most fun things that I've done so far. It was just like I had this idea in my head, I executed it, and I think people liked it, and I thought it was fun to do. So that was like my favorite thing.
It was good.
Was that episode 6 with Bosky?
Yeah, with Boski.
Yeah. Now
And it was
Ulysses
hilarious
Northcutt
because he's
hilarious.
an army guy or a navy guy.
Yeah.
Air Force
Air
guy.
Force.
Come on, man. He's
Whatever,
in the Air
they're-
Force.
Air Force.
He's in the cool branch with all the planes. Okay.
Yeah, with the Air Force, they go on the water too. They do that stuff. So big old carriers. Yeah, that was fun for me. Hold on 1 second.
Uh-oh. An IRL interruption.
I mean, we're expecting this, I suppose.
It's RDT's mom telling him to get out of her house. So, Bruff, what's your favorite episode?
I've narrowed it down to 3 just on a first look at the
All right,
playlist.
well, tell us your 3. That's good enough.
So we got episode 16, 18, and 20. Episode 20 was the top 5 best and worst GTA DLCs. I really enjoyed that discussion that we had about all the DLCs and giving our thoughts and, working out which ones were the best and all that.
Yeah. That was a good episode. People
that
enjoyed
didn't do
that
too
one.
badly in views, nearly 9,000. Episode 18 got about 7,000 views, and that was microtransactions are destroying our favorite games. It's where I did that little monologue at the start about microtransactions.
Of course you like that one, because you just ranted for an hour and a half.
Well, on that note, my third favorite is that Rockstar's greed has ruined GTA. Number 16.
It's funny how your favorite episodes are all ones about complaining.
Yeah.
They're all about complaining.
But that one did well. That got 17,000 views. And I feel
know,
like
because
that
that's
was
all people care about is complaining.
that was the one that spawned the discussion video, episode 97, where I just went completely off, and it's now my most liked video of all time. So I can't exactly remember, but what happened or any specific moments, because it all just blends into one for me. But I think those are my favorite 3, just from looking at titles. I think.
My favorite episode was by far the one with Josh. By
I knew
far.
That was a
And I
great
kind of-
episode. That was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Well, I explained it a little bit in that podcast, but it made the show feel successful to me. On some level, we're always going to be playing the 6 degrees of Adam Bruff on our guests, to some degree. But with Josh, we had no connection to him other than the fact that he knew you, and I pointed at the man and I said him, and we got him on the show. We just that made me feel like we're doing something successful here. And he was a great guest, and he's a great guy, and very entertaining, and
A lot of great information in that episode that I had no idea about.
Yeah.
Just that entire culture of speedrunning. I was like, this
Yeah,
is
those-
weird, but I like it.
Yeah,
Episode
those are the cool
24 that
episodes.
was.
Yeah.
It didn't get many views, 3,500 views in comparison to the
I
others.
know.
People should watch
the good
that one. It
episodes
was
don't get any views.
that was one of the better episodes, I've got to say. It was such a good discussion. We learned so much. It was just really fun. What about specific moments? Ulysses Northcutt was a great moment. I think we got to go back to episode 1 for the face reveal of Nos.
Oh my
We-
god.
We
Oh,
forget
boy.
that a year ago, on the very first episode, no one had ever
one knew he
seen
was
Nos's face before then.
Yeah. And it
Except your
turned out that I was very pretty dyke, and I'm very happy. Very happy everyone
Just
found
Our
me.
handsome young boy. growing
How
up.
how have you changed your opinions since back then? You were specifically no face cam until there was a reason for it. Obviously, this was a reason. And
Yeah, well, I still don't like it, but everybody else like it, so I just kind of caved, honestly, because I set up. I had to have the webcam for the podcast, and then I got the wheel, and I had to have the setup for the wheel, and then I just kind of kept it. So
yeah,
I don't like it, but everybody else does, so I figure stick with it. Yeah, as long as I feel like getting ready before a stream, I will. I guess I'll keep the webcam on. But it could vanish at any point. If you watch my streams, it could vanish just without a trace. You will never see it again.
I've never seen Nas's face ever again.
So
Except on the podcast.
yeah, except on
Even
the
then.
podcast.
Even
No,
then,
no,
you
no,
can't.
yeah, no cam. Just like that one episode. I did do one episode without a cam, didn't I? I think it was when
No,
we
it was
were-
2 episodes when you were getting all the trailer sorted out and everything. And you
Yeah,
had
yeah,
the
when I was
ethereal
moving.
NOS.
Yeah, I was moving. What was the other episode?
There was whatever that one was, and then the one after it. There was 2 episodes back to back where you had the same picture.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, I was in a room about a quarter of the size of this one, and it was a junk room in my grandmother's trailer, so it would not have been, and there were no lights, so it would have been good.
How has everybody been responding to like criticism? Because I know there's one person that really doesn't like me for some reason. But yeah.
Well, yeah, because we were
I-
going to talk about like our highlights of comments, right?
Yeah,
And-
well, that's in a minute. We're
Yeah, we
can
still
talk about
reminiscing
that
about
now.
moments.
But yeah, we
You're
can-
moving ahead.
all right.
Someone mentioned it in chat earlier. So there's this kid.
Yeah,
That
so
was
there's
it.
this kid. That was a good one.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
episode that didn't get too many views with
Yeah,
Gentlemen.
with gentlemen. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I loved when the Eagles were like in the playoffs, just hyping up.
Yeah,
Oh,
those were good times. It was fun.
Let's talk more about me and about because I know that he'll drive that one guy crazy. But yeah, I don't know.
I see. This is the thing. Like, I can't remember things like that. Like, just in general, this is me in life. Like, I can't just think of highlights from the podcast. If someone will say something about the podcast, a highlight or a specific moment, I'll be like, oh
that was a
yeah,
good
I
one,
remember that.
yeah.
That was great. But I can't bring that up from nothing, and I've never been very good at that. And that's just in general life. So I find it very difficult for things like this, trying to, think of highlights from the podcast because I just can't. I just
Yeah.
don't have any. Nothing's there.
I feel like episode 2 was a pretty good moment too, because it was like a better episode than episode 1, where we had a good discussion. That was the one with MB Hammer, by the way, where we talked about Twitch and YouTube as a platform. That was the first one where we had a proper discussion about a subject, and I think it was a very needed morale boost of, we can do this. Of course, nobody watched it, but
Yeah, we
It's
can
funny.
actually talk about a topic and discuss and have some proper thoughts going around about it.
Yeah,
than
it's
just,
wild that like our most interesting guests haven't gotten that many views. Like Andy, I thought it was awesome to hear about.
yeah, that was
His
amazing.
job.
That was so
Uh,
interesting and
yeah.
different and crazy. And
Josh, Gentlemen, like
nobody
weird, but-
cares. Nobody cares. We just
they don't
need to
have
complain.
that appeal from the masses.
That's why we just need to complain about GTA every episode, and then we'll get
Yeah.
tons of
Yeah, I
views.
know. Well, that's the thing, like, because when we were trying to figure out sort of how many times we wanted a guest on versus not a guest, and I was looking at the stats of views for guest videos and non-guest videos, and it was exactly the same. If you culminate all the videos that have guests and all the videos that don't, there was an equal amount of views across them. So it kind of, yeah, guests can go one of 2 ways. They can either bring people in who like them, or they can just be like there's plenty of episodes that we have where we don't have guests that also don't get very many views because people just aren't in the topic. So
Yeah.
our most viewed episode is that the
think it
Mr.
might
Boss
have
for
been
the
Mr.
Win
Boss.
one now?
Yeah, it had to be Mr. Boss. There's no way.
It is,
18K.
but it's only by 600 views.
Really?
10 million.
And our second, 800 views. Our second most viewed episode is Rockstar's Greed Has Ruined GTA.
Yes.
With a flashy title like that.
Flashy titles
Yeah,
that brings
and
people
both
in.
are extremely negative.
Yeah.
I love it.
But
That's
it's-
what people. That's a discussion for another time, though. Just people's just desire and need for negativity, and that's all they want in their life is negativity.
It was interesting what Kanji said in the chat earlier. Like, there's the problem. People don't want to learn sort of about new things with interesting guests. They want to. They'd rather whine.
Yeah, I
about
think
stuff.
GTA's bad too. Finally,
Yeah, they
someone
want
said it.
confirmation
Yeah.
that their opinions are correct. They
Yeah.
don't want new outlooks on things. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's up to them to change, and we're trying to change them.
Yeah.
We'll change them all.
Yeah.
One.
But we
hater at
don't
a
do
time.
this for the masses of views. We do it for the people who are watching
We
or
don't?
listening, I should say now. We get more listeners than ever before. So that's
Yeah, if
something
you're-
that I've really
you're heading
enjoyed.
to work, or you're heading home. I hope you've had a good day, or you're going to have a good day. This is 103.2. Then we'll play like
I
some
really enjoyed that,
Aerosmith.
how it's grown to be a audio only thing. And when we started, I mean, I worked out how to put it on iTunes and stuff, but since then we had a sponsor on that essentially paid for a year of us hosting it on an
Yeah, thank
audio
you.
version.
Thank you, Geek Crate or whatever.
Geek
what was
Fuel.
Geek Fuel. Come on now, it's Geek
Thanks,
Fuel.
Thank you, Geek Fuel.
Audio versions of the Choking Hazard podcast are brought to you by Geek Fuel. Geek Fuel, the fuel for geeks. Learn
They didn't
more at
pay us for that.
geekfuel.com or org.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need some more sponsors
PG.
to become a fully fledged podcast now. But
What we need some of those like mattress sponsors, so I can get like a new king size mattress.
oh yeah,
God,
Yeah,
Casper. Get a
Yeah.
Casper custom mattress.
Yeah.
If you don't love it, 90 days, they'll take it back and burn it because it's disgusting for you to sleep on it for 90 days and then return a mattress. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good to see that, and now it's on Spotify, and there's various different ways you can listen to it. I mean, it's great that we've had, like, I think a defining moment of the entire podcast was when we had that person contact me saying, "I've never watched any of your videos. I've never seen the podcast on YouTube. I
give a
just
shit
listen
who
to
you
it on
are."
iTunes
Yeah.
for my job." And
I
it
like
was
that
just
RDT
like,
guy. He's really cool. He's got a cool
Yeah.
voice.
but that was it. Like that was a defining moment that we've made it as a podcast as well. Like not just a
We've
video.
made it one
podcast.
audio listener.
That's
We've
it.
made
You only need one, and then you know you've succeeded, and then it just grows from there.
And then you can stop.
Well, no, not quite stop.
But yeah.
A highlight has been Nossa's intros to the call-in questions. C. Wilson
yeah.
said that before, especially
Yeah,
one of the. Was it the
I tried
first
my
one or
best.
one of the early ones? With the, well, I think it was the very first one, right?
Possibly.
Oh, what was it?
Is it what's stuck in your throat today?
What's
or
stuck in
something
your
like
throat
that?
today?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was brilliant. There's
That
been
just
some
caught us all off
classics.
guard. That was great.
And then I think the one after that was what, like spit it out or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty good. I kept them going there for a while, but
long
after
time.
like 12 episodes, it got kind of hard.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine trying to think of different ones every time. But I feel like we should talk a little bit about how it all started, because many people might not know, especially those listening.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, how did this come to be? And it dates back to we actually had a podcast before this, but it was an unofficial podcast.
It's an informal
Yeah.
podcast.
It was more of like a roundtable discussion while
I guess,
you were
while doing other
playing
things.
games or something.
Yeah. The What Are You Doing podcast.
Yeah, what are you doing podcast?
There were 3 episodes. I think in the very first episode of the Chalking Hazard podcast, I have them all linked in the description.
Oh, wow.
I think you do, yeah.
Oh yeah, they are. Throw
Put 'em
all
in
3
the-
episodes
Put them in
linked.
the down below in this one too, since we're talking about it.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah,
Makes
just
you
give me
some
extra
more-
work to
Look
remember.
down below for links to the What Are You Doing podcast.
You know I'm gonna forget, and then people are gonna
That's
be
why
disappointed.
MB Hammer's here.
But the What Are You Doing podcast was just, we were playing random game. Like I happened. Did it start on the Criminal Mastermind on Xbox?
Yeah, I
Is that
think
what
so.
It was? And then yeah, that's how it started, and we were just in a call with, like, I was in a call with people like Calavera and Crazy Man, who I was actually doing it with, and then
And Blue-Eyed
RDT just
Mouse.
randomly
You always
joins,
forget
and then
Blue-Eyed
Nos
Mouse.
randomly joins.
Yeah, Alex was there.
Malice was there too.
Yes, he
Malice is so integrated into everything that happens on Xbox and Nodo that he's just, there. You don't need to mention him. You just know he was there. But yeah, then RDT joined and just started talking, and then Nos joined at the same, pretty much soon after that, and then we started talking about stuff, and then episode 2 was. When was episode 2? Was I doing heists then as well? It looks like it,
I have no idea.
based
dude.
on the video. I was doing some heist, and we did the same thing, chatting. And then episode 3, we actually specifically got onto a call to talk about the potential of having a podcast. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then
Yeah.
we created the Choking Hazard podcast. I think it was episode 3 of the What Are You Doing podcast where the name came about, Choking Hazard, I feel.
Yeah, who was it that came up with that name again?
I think that was wasn't that C. Wilson? That's Scottish
Yeah.
guy.
No.
It was definitely Scottish. I'm pretty sure it was C. Wilson.
Yeah.
He's the only Scottish person I know.
Well,
Was it Lemmy? Was it Brian Lemond?
It was
This
MB
is the
Hammer
part
who
where
came
someone
up
in
with
the
it.
comments right now, someone has posted in the comments.
Right now.
Who is that voice? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
That is our
And
producer,
timestamp.
MB Hammer.
look at C. Wilson in the chat taking.
It was me. I can confirm. It was C. Wilson, I remember. See, this is what the chat does.
That's not true.
Heists on PS4 grinding for episode. Oh, that's what it was when people were loading up the. Wasn't it people were loading up the final heist for me to continually do, I think? Or I was at least. I was grinding through the final heist to get some money on PS4. We made it more interesting by talking. So yeah, we had humble beginnings.
Anyway, Hammer did come up with the name, by the
He
way.
did. He did. Our
Give him
producer.
due credit.
And then Nos bullied us into actually doing it, or bullied me into doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
You've
told
done
you
so
forever
much.
that was the type of content that I wanted from you.
It took a while, didn't it?
Ranting
Really?
with other people. Yeah, it was a couple years I bugged you about it, and
Yeah.
then here I am on it, leeching off your content even more. It's excellent.
Yeah, I really don't know how we all ended up here. I don't
How
know
did it
how
happen?
I'm sitting here doing a podcast with some dude that has like 170,000 subscribers in England. Like I don't know what's going on.
thing
Well,
is,
back in
YouTube-
drinking my way.
2014, you joined an online gaming community called Nonchalant Dominance.
2013,
2013, excuse me.
December.
He's one of
2013.
the
December 10th.
super
Okay.
OGs.
Yeah.
You two are both like significant OGs for my content and YouTube and stuff. It was all
Yeah.
old gen
RDT
stuff.
did come first, though. He
RDT
gets-
was one of the truest of the OGs.
Yes.
I was in one of those early subscriber lobbies. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, the really really early ones.
That
We
was
just
great.
had enough people to fill out a lobby on old gen, so 16.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember one clip from your subscriber lobby highlight video where I was totally joking because you were better than me at racing, but I passed you. I was like, how does second place feel? And then you passed me again, and you're like, I don't know, how does it feel? I was like, I'm in third now. And someone in the comments was like, who was that asshole that was taunting you? Blah blah blah. I was like, Jesus! Does no one have a sense of humor? What's going on?
Oh man, that's good.
That's pretty funny.
I just wanted to put it out there that I've just looked at the date that Criminal Mastermind challenge thing was that I did. And it was 26th of February 2016 is when the video went up on YouTube. So it was just over 2 years ago that the first episode of the original podcast and the whole idea of doing a podcast came up. So
Wow.
it took us a year to get to the point of actually doing it, and here we are a year later after having done it.
I mean, the idea of the podcast came way before that video.
It
though.
did actually, to be fair. That was
Because-
Nos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you remember, Nos, you asked me to ask Brough at I-57 about doing a podcast.
Oh, did I?
That was one of the questions you said. You've got to ask Brough about doing a podcast. So
I don't remember that. I do know
I asked you at
that
I-57.
we were talking about Teenage Broughy earlier. I think if
Yeah.
you look at the Teenage Broughy video, whenever
In the
that
chat.
was,
Yeah.
in the chat, I was suggesting a podcast in that.
Yes,
Yeah, you
that's
were.
right, you were.
There's
So
a
that could be
screenshot of
the-
it.
Yeah, that could be the first ever recorded instance.
Yeah, it might be.
In human history.
You
Yeah.
you were the driving force, Nos.
Yes, I was. I'm the only reason the show's here, so you can thank me anytime you like. Anytime.
Or do the opposite if they don't like this whole thing.
Yeah, true. Blame Nos. Blame Nos for
Speaking
everything.
of-
Hashtag.
Speaking of not liking things, should we talk about some comments?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
So this is
Hell
something that we're
yeah.
going to start bringing into every episode. A comment feedback from the previous. So
Yeah,
we're going
this
to
is
do
gonna
a
be
sort of
new edition.
general
Not
feedback from the
necessarily
previous episode as well.
All bad. Like,
but-
No, not necessarily all bad.
No,
but
but specifically highlighting comments from the previous episodes, and that's going to be a standard thing each week, each episode. I guess what we should do before we do that, should we open up the phone bank for people for questions?
Yeah, let's go ahead
Give
and
people
open
a
the
chance
phone
and
bank.
give
That
Hammer a
sounds like
chance
a
to
good
get it all
idea.
done whilst we go through all this. So if anyone wants to ask any questions on this special episode,
yeah, it's a very special episode. You could make history. You could be recorded in history forever with your good question. If you have any good questions, maybe some things that we didn't ask Brough you want to ask, or maybe you really don't, but you want to know more about me or RDT. You just hop in the phone bank. You ask a question. You want our opinions. And by that, you want Brough's opinions because
Yes.
he's the only reason you're here.
Nothing will
phone
ever
bank.
beat that in the phone bank. I have a question for all of you. Oh, sorry. I mean
just-
Broughy.
I
Just
know.
mean Brough. It's like, oh, so really not all of us.
no. So you're gonna feed the trolls. Well, that is the thing, Wondersniff, with this section. I'm not necessarily 100% behind it with all the negativity, but these guys want to do it. These guys want to have some fun with it.
It's
So-
all how you take their power away if you find what they say funny.
Yeah, you guys do
If-
find it incredible.
If I would have just quit the podcast from that man calling me a pretty dyke, that would have been
That was such a
pretty
backhanded
unfortunate.
compliment.
Yeah, it's so great. I love it. See, people put effort in, and they actually make their hate funny.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's really good. But I could curl up in a ball. I could cry about it. Be self-conscious and never look at myself in the mirror again. And I could do that, or I could laugh at it. Take it.
No,
and
Hazard,
have it be
don't
fun.
let them do their thing. They're gonna do it anyway. Don't ever attack anybody that says this stuff. 'Cause
Anyone who's posting the type of hate that we're talking about here never makes it this far in the episode anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and then
like-
we're not
yeah.
going to say names. We're just going to say the actual
I'm saying
comments.
names.
And
I'm saying
you are.
100%.
Okay,
No.
well that's gone out the window then.
if they put their comment publicly in the public YouTube comment section, they get their name called out.
People will find out anyway. We get like
Yeah.
100 comments tops.
Yeah, it's not that hard to find.
And the people are going to start putting specific negative comments now just to get mentioned.
I've said that before. No, I've asked them to give me hate before, and they haven't. Except
Yeah.
for one guy.
I find it amusing that people get so angry that they spend the time to write it all down for people to read.
Yeah, really.
I find it so amusing. It's great.
All right, well-
it feeds me.
To kick it off, I think we should just the one that we all agree is fantastic. We're not even mad. We just think it's an interesting one. Should we even mention who it's from? I mean, he's gonna know. Everyone's gonna know. It's
Yeah.
reasonable.
It's
Uh,
up to you.
for not at me, at Brough, the one that was directed at Brough.
Oh yeah, the longer one. They're from the last episode. Yes,
From the last episode.
we all enjoyed this one.
This one's great.
Yeah.
Jonty, my dude, I love you, but like
Yeah, good guy, but this
on, man.
comment. Pretty funny.
Jonty writes in as a criticism of our racing corner of Nas and our kind of lack of enthusiasm for the racing corner. Really, Broughy, you shouldn't give in on the racing corner. You have given your co-hosts so much by doing this podcast with them in the first place. Frankly, the fact that they won't watch a 10-minute highlight video after all you've done for them makes them look like ungrateful little pricks. Put your foot down, man.
Yeah, grow us that.
He's
bro.
right. He's right. If you don't watch it, you're getting off the
right.
podcast. I knew it.
Oh, Jonty,
I was a savage. I was particularly savage that one. It's like,
it's great. I mean, it's fantastic. But and yes, we do this podcast on Broughy's channel.
Yeah.
We, it wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. But it is all of our podcasts. We all have an equal stake in a way. And
Yeah.
yes, if Broughy decided to end the podcast, he could easily do that. But I don't think you would want to do one by yourself.
Yeah, he's Brough's majority shareholder, but we hold shares.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the podcast to be worth enough to where I can cash out.
Yeah.
But it'll actually make some money instead of being a drain. If you run, that is a good point from Viper. If you run out of juicy comments to read out, go to the secondary channel and the video on the hot ring race. There's plenty of good comments on that one. Man,
jeez.
less said about that, the better.
And I think the best part about Jonty's comment is that we both watched the highlight video that week.
Yeah, we did. We watched
it.
Yeah, you still watched it. You were just
We find it
disinterested
so,
in it.
yeah.
It's like you can't force people to be interested in something that they're not interested in.
I mean, I will admit Daniel Ricciardo's overtake on Bottas there was very impressive on both sides. Bottas, it was very impressive that he gave enough room. And Ricciardo, very impressive that he went for the shot. But that was like 4 seconds of a 7-minute video, and that was the only part that I found engaging whatsoever. So, I mean, what are we going to do? Sit here and talk for 15 minutes about 4 seconds of a race? No. So,
I like what Woolsey says. You all had equal parts in your own unique way. It wouldn't be the same without one of you missing. And that's why we've moved it to a Saturday. You know, we faced the potential that RDT was maybe couldn't do it anymore. But we've moved it to a Saturday so that he can, now that he's got a job.
Much to the chagrin of one commenter. I don't want to go twice in a row, because, Nas, do you have any comments that you want to point out?
Well, I mean, I've mentioned before someone giving me that compliment. It was very nice of him.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's just I love the general comments that just assume, he's uneducated. He's just, some redneck. He's not very smart. There was one. Hold on. Okay. We got to find this one because this one was pretty funny. We're gonna do some live comment searching here. This is from the last episode.
Boy.
This is from the last episode regarding myself and RDT arguing over exclusives for about 10 minutes. And let me see if I can find this this comment here.
I feel like I know which one you're talking about, but I'm not, because the comments for me just sort of come in addition to all the others, so I'm just going through them. I don't really, I kind of read it, and then if it needs answering, I'll answer it, and if not, I just move on. But I think this one, I know which one you mean, and it sort of stuck out.
Well, here's one. Totally agree with RDT that exclusives are a necessary evil. If all games were made available on all systems, it wouldn't be long before X-box/Nintendo stopped making consoles, because everyone would just buy the superior hardware, aka PS4.
Just gonna see this.
Even though the PS4 is not the superior hardware. Then the PlayStation game developers would have a monopoly over the industry.
Oh my God, you did not. Oh, well. No, he spelled it correctly.
Oh, did he? Oh, yes. Yeah, he did. Monopoly over the industry and would have no incentive to make a better product. Completion would be eliminated and the consumer would suffer. Nos, all caps, needs to take an economics class once he's old enough to be in college.
I did like that.
I forgot. XD.
XD.
I'm going to be 21 Monday, by the way, just letting you know.
What I like about that one is it came from a good place initially, but ended up being like a really snide comment.
Yeah. And then there was another one. Hold on. I think it was... Let me see if I can find it.
Well, in the meantime, I have to point
if you've
out.
got one. Yeah, if you've got one to share, go ahead.
Oh my God. This guy, I don't know what I did to him, honestly. If you want to reach out to me, I comment. I reply to your comments every time you put them down. But Mr. James Beadlar, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Beadlar. Every week he calls me the same thing, so I don't know. He needs to come up with some more creative insults, in my opinion. He goes, "You lost me as soon as I heard the cheesy chode on the bottom left crack open can. Will not watch till he is removed." And we're gonna miss you, honestly. It's gonna be tough not having you. At first, when I read that comment, I thought when he said "crack open his can," he was talking about me like opening my mouth to talk. But then I realized that I gave him too much credit, and I actually did open up a can of beer at that point. And so, unless he was doing a play on words where he was doing both, because that would be super next level. That'd be like 4D chess levels of trolling.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Please call me something else other than a cheesy chode. You need to be more creative. I have other flavors. But yes,
Minty.
I replied to him. You motivate me. And
I saw that reply.
yeah, I liked it. I love it. It's hilarious.
This one's pretty good.
Wait, let me go.
Oh, you
Yeah,
got one. Oh.
Because Raymond just asked any comments that really annoyed you, and no comments ever now annoy me. Like I was saying this earlier about YouTube comments in general, they never get to me that much. But there were some comments on the Mr. Boss episode that we didn't, that we didn't drill down. We didn't rip out his throat and stab him in the back and all this kind of stuff. That we actually asked some questions and took some answers and allowed people to make their own decisions. But that wasn't good enough for some people. So those were some interesting comments. I'm not saying that they annoyed me, that they got to me, because nothing ever does regarding comments these days. But they were, yeah, they kind of showed that people just didn't get what we were trying to do there.
Yeah.
And if we had gone in with the whole idea of, being a bitch and putting him down, he would never have been on in the first place. You gotta have that opportunity to be able to do that in the first place.
My favorite was the people on that episode that are just such on a higher moral plane of existence than us, that for us to even acknowledge Mr. Boss was to soil ourselves.
Yeah.
And we have now become tainted, and now I will no longer watch this content because you even graced the podcast with his presence. You talked to another human being, a human being I find so despicable because children watch his YouTube content. It's just like,
and that's
it's
it.
hilarious.
There were a few comments like, right, you've had Boss on your channel, that's ridiculous, I'm unsubscribing.
I'm unsubscribing. How dare you even mention his name?
Oh,
That's
man.
a bit harsh. That escalated very quickly.
I have one comment
here's
at the end, but I'm going to save it to the last one because it's kind of looking back on the podcast as a whole.
Here's another one from this one's just a mess. I've got to read you this one because it's a complete mess. I don't know what he's trying to say, but I'd just like to say it's a lot better to say it how it is, and I'm reading this correctly. Say it how it is than to be fake. I respect his personality even though I know nothing of him. If you put yourself on the internet as an entertainer, you subject yourself to this. It comes with the job you're applying for. And then he follows this up, and somehow everything just turns into hate for me. If you are unable to laugh at small things like this in life, you're dealing with personal issues yourself, with ranging possibilities. That is a fact. Therapy is broadly argued. I'm sure that knows, N-O''S, thinks it's foolish, since he is clearly not educated well, but it's honestly the only way to solve issues as such. So can anyone decipher that for me?
I don't know
Please?
what that was talking about. I genuinely
idea.
don't know what that comment was in
I
reference
don't
to.
know the
Man, were you calling out Chewbacca's bong?
I might have. Yeah, I was.
So
Oh, man,
in
he's the boy.
the same vein, I've picked out a comment, and you guys need to try and guess which episode it was associated to.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, I like that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fun game.
That's fun.
So, and I will preface this. This comment has been edited. It's quite a long one, but it has been edited. So
Ooh,
this is
long one.
exactly what the author wanted to say. Internet has a bad name because of all the positives and negatives, so I understand the opinions, but I think I disagree. I disagree because quantum computers are becoming a thing, and when that will govern the whole internet, there will be literally no lag, ever. When I say that there will be no lag, I truly mean that there will be no lag. Let that sink in for a little while. That means probably internet gaming will be possible and will be a thing. I'm not even saying that I want it to be a thing because there are so many negatives of internet gaming, even without lag. End of comment.
I think I know which episode.
Whenever we talked about PlayStation Now, I know that. I
Was
remember
that-
this comment,
Oh,
but I
I
don't
was thinking
remember what
Josh
episode
Moose.
it was.
I was thinking it was Joshimu's.
Yeah, it was that episode. You're right. Yeah, but we got on the subject of PlayStation Now because we were talking
Is
about.
that what it is?
I have no idea. I mean, I would go with that as a guess, but I have no idea if you hadn't have said that where
it was
it's come
exactly
from.
that. Well done for good
Sweet.
remembering
Yeah.
skills.
Because I remember we were talking about that, like, I forget exactly, streaming games or something like that, and how that would affect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
wow.
love the fact that it was edited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been edited, so that is the final form of
I
that
can't
comment.
wait for those quantum computers.
That's not what I meant. I meant this. Oh, Jesus. That's
Oh
probably what-
man, do you guys have any more comments? Or are we? Am I good to do the final one?
Yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm sure there were some amazing ones still, but in the earlier episodes, I'm sure there were some good insults on what I look
Yeah.
like. That's what everyone always goes for.
Of course. Well,
Like, I'm just waiting for someone to like insult me on some kind of deeper personal level that actually gets to me. I'm waiting. It will happen one day. But
Hopefully. God willing.
God
yeah,
willing.
hopefully, I'm really hoping that it will happen.
Well, the last one is the quintessential comment. Speaking of anniversary of the podcast, this has been we don't get it anymore. I've noticed, but we had it for every single episode from as soon as we started.
Yes.
Z. Stick to gameplay, Broughy. Z. Beautiful comment.
Stick to gameplay.
Every single episode was that. Just it was like
Gameplay,
clockwork. You
Broughy.
knew it was going to pop up.
In
Oh,
fact,
God.
how about that be the if you've made it this far in the podcast?
No, don't do that. I've got that for the end. I know what that's going to be.
Oh,
Okay.
you do?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Don't do that.
Never mind. I didn't know you had something planned.
I know what the comment's going to be. I only thought up of it 5 minutes ago, but I know what it's going to be.
Oh, okay.
It's a good one. Right. So that's going to be I'm looking forward to this this segment every week where we look back at the podcast, the previous podcast's comments. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, if
have,
you have comments, I would say do that too. Like, if you have something that you want us to address or something, be like, yeah, RDT is the best host, obviously, and
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Or
yeah,
if you
I know.
have like a particularly good question, and you can't make it live or you're not subbed to Brough on Twitch, if it's
But
a
don't
particularly
start
good
putting
question.
your word. Don't
Yeah.
start putting your word bank questions.
yeah, it doesn't have to be
Going back.
bad stuff. We can actually have some feedback.
It will
and-
have to be an exceptional question that we've never even thought of before. if
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
don't
be
like
answering
write-ins.
questions. Yeah.
Speaking of that, before we go on to the phone bank call-in section, a little bit of gaming news. We are going to do a gaming news segment every time, but I wasn't going to focus on this too much. But then there was some actual news that loot boxes are now illegal in Belgium.
Oh,
They've actually
shoot.
said that loot boxes in
Cool.
they looked at 4 games: Star Wars Battlefront 2, CS:GO, Overwatch, and FIFA 18, I think. And the only one that they deemed not to be illegal was Star Wars Battlefront 2 because they've removed them all since then. So they're literally saying that the loot boxes in CS:GO, Overwatch, and FIFA need to be removed, and that's the same for all games at that point. But they just focused on those 3, or the producers of the
Can't
games,
sell
the
your
people
game
involved in the
I
games.
mean, honestly, I'd just take the hit and not sell my game in Belgium.
They could be facing prison time and all that kind of stuff because it's
So-
What?
So what they've said is they have to be removed by June. If they are not removed by June, they will be facing what was it, €800,000 fines, or a maximum of 5 years in prison. But those are both doubled if the rules were broken by minors. So
Okay, so they will
They
be
were.
doubled. And there was wasn't it the Netherlands that said that they've found loot boxes to be gambling as well, I think, but they didn't name the games that they were looking at. But it's largely
they-
believed to be the same sort of games. But they've got the same
named-
sort of.
They named the
limit.
games, however, they said that they didn't come down as harshly. They said that they could be classified as gambling, and they're going to keep an eye on it, basically.
Okay. So it's things are happening. Things are
Good.
Boy.
good. I agree. Loot boxes are the devil. So we'll see how that continues. Right. Community questions. do we have some questions?
We do have some questions. Okay, I'm going to have to. There's another. I mean, you tell people to come into the question area at a certain time, and they just don't do it. So I've got another question that I've got to go and listen to now. But look,
It'll be fine, Hammer. Just the deep breaths.
all right. So our first question is by Mr. C. Wilson.
Hello, caller. You just called into the Dr. Heimlich fan club. Who's your question for, and what's your question?
Good evening. It is for everyone, not just Brough.
Okay.
It is quite simply, over the course of the 1 year that you've been doing the podcast, you've had some quite incredible guests. If you could, for the following year, if you could choose one guest to have on the podcast, who would you choose?
Oh, that's good.
If it was down to you.
That's a great. If we could have one guest.
Anybody?
Anyone.
I have two in particular that I'm thinking who I would prefer.
Who would those be then? What's your answer?
I think I have two as well.
I'm leaning towards one over the other, but these are the two. Broughy1322
Ooh,
and
be
Jim
cool.
Sterling.
Jim
Those would be my two, and I think I would prefer, if I could have anybody, I'd prefer to have Jim Sterling on.
Of course, for the negativity.
Of course. Because it would indulge my need to
Triple
talk
A!
about the AAA gaming industry and all that. But either of those two would be my choice.
Yo, Ella Lentini. Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
that's a deep cut right there.
Yeah, that's an old meme, sir, but it checks
That's
out.
a very old meme.
RDT?
Sorry for the ruffling. I need to change my
Or do you need more time?
Well, I was thinking more of like possibly realistic rather than just a shoot for the moon, which I guess Boogie might doubt it, but no, he would never come on here.
Oh, by the way, did I tell you that I asked Ashens? You know
Who?
Ashens? The guy who reviews things on his couch with his hands. He's a funny comedian. He's got millions of subscribers.
Yeah, that guy.
I told you at the time that I asked him Insomnia, right?
You
And
didn't tell us. I don't think.
No, you didn't. Tell
I
us
don't
that.
think you told us this.
All right, I asked him to come on the podcast, and well, at least I said, we'd love to have you on if you ever want to, because why not? I met him, so why not ask him? Well, he never actually got back to me, which is fine, but I never expected him to.
What did
But
he say?
I asked him.
Like,
I didn't really give him I didn't really say, will you come on, and demand an answer from him right there and then, because
Were
that's
you
not-
were you gushing a little bit? Ruff?
hey,
Is that-
we got this
is that the problem?
podcast, and he's just nodding like, oh, that's nice, that's sweet. You got a little podcast, that's cute.
Well, he asked about it. He asked about it was the topics and what it was all about and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
So, I answered all that. But I wasn't going to just push him for an answer there and then. Either way.
Anyway,
He isn't on, so he hasn't been on. So.
Yeah, well,
Go on
maybe
then.
we got
so
ask
it's
again.
RDT. Anyway,
One of them would be a YouTuber that I've been watching for a really long time, like since I was 15, I think. If anyone's familiar with Critical or Penguins on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's part of the old guard.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
like I started watching him when his QWOP video went crazy because it was like featured on Ray William Johnson's channel. Rest in
Oh
peace.
my God! What? Oh, wait, how old are
We
you?
are going back a long time now.
Ray William Johnson.
Yeah, because he has his own podcast. I feel like if we reached out to him, he'd be like, "No, I don't want to do that at all. This is a terrible idea. I'm not going to be on your podcast." And but I would still like to have him on here and talk to him about how YouTube has changed because he is part of the old guard and makes different content and has evolved over the years. And then I guess just as a selfish request, I would want Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, come on, and I would just talk to him for 14
With
hours.
me and us would just be sat here not saying a word
just be
because you
sitting
just have a
back.
conversation with him.
No, but realistically, like probably someone like you said, or like Angry Joe or something, someone that's prominent with gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have two. One of them is for our own personal gain, get some of that Summit 1G action on
Oh,
the
yeah.
podcast. That'd
Hell
be
yeah.
pretty good. And he'd be like super interesting to talk to just about his Twitch career.
Yeah.
And regular car reviews, that's more of a personal thing because his content is excellent. I will push his content anytime I get a chance. Oh, and we talked about this in like the second episode too. All Sham No Wow, my favorite content creator ever. I mean, I love you, Brough. You're a great guy.
Sham no wow.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
All
a few
Sham
of
No
these
Wow.
names that you've said. I'll be honest, but yeah.
All right.
So we got
Thanks for the
a
question,
list to work towards at least.
Yeah.
You guys have been creating a shopping list for me, for people, for me to go and harass, basically.
Yeah.
Of course.
Excellent.
Someone said in the chat earlier, Leslie Benzies would be a really good person
Oh,
to
yeah.
have on.
Yeah,
That would be
too.
fantastic. Although he'd probably still be under some sort of NDA thing that he couldn't say a word about Rockstar. But still, it would be interesting to talk to him.
Yeah. That would be like
The
the
pinnacle.
creme de la creme. That would be
Yeah.
our magnum opus. Like,
Yeah. And the few other people like Shaggy and Tony people want on. I would like
Yeah,
to
but
get
those
Shaggy
are
on, but
realistic. Like,
yeah,
we could
those are more. I was going for more of the
Yeah.
shooting for the moon, sort of never going to happen type things, or maybe in like 3 years. Sorry about the
Yeah.
noise.
When we're properly big, yeah.
Yeah.
PPC
Um,
basis, the Take Two CEO. We don't want Strauss Zelnick on the grilling would be far worse than what it was for Mr. Boss.
Oh my
I
god,
can
if we
tell
had
you that.
him on, then I really would go to town. Screw that. So, yeah, good
Alright.
question, C. Wilson. That's
Good
one of the best
question, C.
questions we've had for the entire podcast ever. I gotta say.
do you have any contacts still at Rockstar that will talk to you?
I have contacts at Rockstar, but none of them will talk to me anymore. So,
Wonder if we could get like a
Burn those
developer on
bridges.
and just talk about shit. But
it'd be good to get Laszlo on.
oh my god,
Laszlo.
I listened to
That was-
Laszlo.
So how
back
do
in
you feel
GTA
about the
3.
Rockstar writers completely destroying your character and taking away everything that was funny about him from the 3D era? How do you feel about that?
that'd be wild.
poor Laszlo. They did Laszlo dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laszlo
He's just-
seemed to get
he's-
progressively worse. Like, he got progressively more and more pathetic as the games went on.
Yeah, but you can still be funny and pathetic. Now he's just
Yeah.
pathetic. It's not
Yeah,
funny.
that's true.
So
I
it's
never
a
thought
shame.
about that. You think we could get like the guy that plays Michael or Franklin or like,
That would be so cool if we could, though.
you know?
If we could get.
Hawk's probably a little too big these now. But
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, other than GTA, I don't know if what's his name that played Michael.
I saw him in a diabetes medicine commercial.
Yeah, if he's doing diabetes medicine commercials, we could probably get him. But Stephen Ogg's in Walking Dead now, so
Oh yeah, Steven.
So
That's
he's
why I didn't say Trevor. Did I say Trevor?
yeah.
Listen,
Frank.
guys, any guests that you guys want to get, I will
Ned
actively
Luke, thank
pursue
you.
them.
Yeah, why
Ned
not?
Luke, yeah.
Why not? Write all these names down that we've said. Apart from
Yep.
Summit, because I feel like that would be better coming from Nos.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
good stuff. So
we
next,
do have one more question waiting in the wings,
Okay.
Let's do
Bring
it.
him in.
and that question is from Raving107.
Hello, caller in the Choking Hazard podcast. What's stuck in your throat today?
Oh, Jordan.
All right, so I have a two-part question for RDT.
What?
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 All right.
A question for RDT. What? Okay, so how does it feel to be the odd one out?
In what way?
Well, you see, Nas is having his birthday stream on Monday. Shout out to that.
Oh, I didn't even have to do the self promotion. All right, excellent, my man.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption. Woo, let's do. All right. Anyway,
I planted
and
raving, by the way.
it's all right. Well, it's also the podcast birthday, and it's always Broughy's birthday. So, how does it feel to be the odd one out?
Oh, well, I feel like I'm still involved since we're celebrating this family
Together.
that we've built up
Yeah.
over the time, and this is our 1 year anniversary of it. It doesn't have to be your birthday every day, man. You know, I
well,
live
it
my
seems
life
to.
like it's-
I keep. Why don't people listen to me when I say that?
What? Yeah. I live every day like it's my birthday. Every day is a gift. You're all a gift to me. You're all.
When is your birthday?
I'm the gift to you.
Whew.
And do you have a second part?
Yeah, this part's inspired by Baron. Shout out to Friendly Baron, twitch.tv/Friendly Baron.
Oh my
doing
god!
a-
You said, get
He's
this
doing
guy
a 24
out
hours, 24 hours
Get this
stream.
guy out of here.
2.5 hours from now.
Raving. Quit it.
He's been gone.
Nope, he got kicked. He got removed.
Removed. MB Hammer on point.
If you're gonna promote me, that's fine. But if you promote someone else, crossing
Baron.
the line.
We like Baron, but there's
Yeah, we
certain
like
limits.
We do like Baron a lot, but
He's doing a 24-hour stream
do
apparently.
we want to bring him back?
I actually
in?
had a
And
second
does he have
part.
a
You
serious
ruined it.
question?
You ruined it for yourself.
Oh yeah, he did ruin it.
No, come on.
So
what's your
what is
second
the
part?
actual question, Raven?
All right. I know Nos isn't ever gonna do a 24-hour stream. He's lazy.
No, no, I'm not lazy. 24-hour streams are by definition stupid.
And Broughy does 24-hour streams all the time. He's a pro at it by this time. But RDT, would you do a 24-hour stream?
Sure. Why not? You know, I've at my job we have this thing called Summer Fridays, and we got to pick a couple Fridays that we have off. So maybe I'll take one of those and do it on that and roll over, so I have a weekend to recover. Yeah,
All right,
sure.
When's the date? What's the
You
date
haven't
right
heard
now?
it here first, folks. I don't know the date. I need to look at my calendar, but this summer, sometime in the months of June to August. You heard it here first. 24-hour stream confirmed. It's just gonna be 24 hours of Juan, and that's it.
RDT's laptop couldn't handle a 24-hour
Yeah,
stream.
it wouldn't be able. I'll have to get a new computer, but yeah. All right. Yeah, good question, Raving. Thanks.
Baron just said in the chat, "Is 24-hour streams cancelled now? Raving's ruined it." 24-hour streams are tough, man. They're not
They're
healthy.
stupid.
I
They're
imagine
stupid.
staying up for 20
I agree.
hours.
I've done one, and I agree that it's stupid. I'm never doing another
It's
one.
the definition of quantity over quality, because halfway through, you're barely even there. You're barely looking at chat. Well, it's just
I would maybe do it if it was for charity. I'd do it for charity.
I wouldn't do it for. I do nothing for charity. The only charity
I would
work
like
for
to. The
is-
only time
is the
I'll ever
Nos
do
Fund.
anything more than a 13-hour full day stream is when we can like tag team in. Say that me and Zexy did a 24-hour stream together, or I was with a group of people and we were all just having shifts on it or something like that. I'm not going to do a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, that's
on my
fine.
own
12
again.
hours is the max I'll ever stream, I think.
Rough at 240,000 subs. We have to all meet up in your house and do a 24-hour stream.
Oh yeah, 240. Oh, I'm
By that
okay with
time,
that.
I'll have enough money saved up to be able to do that.
Will you have enough money to saved up to pay for Nos too?
Yeah.
I might have to ship them like a pet or
Put
something.
him in.
Make
yeah.
a YouTube channel about it.
When's your birthday, RDT? Since the birthday question came up.
10/10, October 10th.
Okay. So it's exactly 2 months before mine.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
To the day.
Wow.
Anyway, some interesting. Well, C. Wilson's was an interesting question. That's it.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Adam, and I'm sorry if this feels like gotcha journalism, but we've had an anonymous source has spoken to me about. We touched briefly on your education.
Oh yeah.
An anonymous source has come to me and said that whilst you were in high school, you got quite heavily involved with organized crime, particularly the mafia. Is what I'm being told. Would you like to elaborate on that? I believe you possibly. There was also allegations that you used your power with organized crime to swing some votes. I heard.
What?
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, I've never spoken about any of this, to be honest. I've spoken very little about my previous life, I guess.
Wait, is there actual truth to this?
No. Well, there is some
No.
level of truth, but not actual crime. So this comes from Tony, who's told MB Hammer and everybody else this. But in secondary school, I was up for the head boy position, and
Head boy is that the title? Head boy.
yeah, head boy, yes.
That sounds real suspect, bro.
Yeah, that sounds suspicious.
But there was
boy.
4 of us in the
Head
running,
boy.
and we were all meant to give speeches. And I decided that I didn't just want to stand there and just do a random speech where I'm just talking from a piece of paper or something. So I decided, in my infinite wisdom, to dress up in a suit, get a hat, get a fake cigar and some glasses, and pretend I was a mafia boss. And I came in and did this accent.
Oh my god!
Yo,
I did a
Pix.
full-on sort of show for my head boy speech, and then as soon as I did that, everybody else had to have a thing after that. Everybody else came out and just did a read, just said, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to make sure that, the toilets are kept clean or something."
Is this videoed?
I need pictures.
I believe that because that was kind of the start of it. And then we did 2 more shows, I guess, like at a Christmas assembly, and then the final leavers assembly for our final, when we were all done with school. So
This is
we
a
kind of did
multiple
3 shows in
occurrence.
total, and the 3rd one I believe was recorded by somebody, but I did ask them a few years later if they ever still had it, but they didn't, from what I can remember.
No.
So there's no record of it, thankfully.
Well, chat is correct. Give us the accent. What's the accent?
I can't even remember. I can't.
No,
I
come
can't.
on.
So it's not going to be
that's
possible.
A cop-out. I don't believe you.
I couldn't do it if I
You're
tried.
lying to me. You're lying.
Were you trying to do like a New York accent?
Like a sort of New York mafia type accent, not like the Italian sort of thing. But
I heard you
Uncle
also enlisted a posse who also dressed up.
yeah, I did. I had a group of people who were my main friendship circle at the time. Tony was one of them, and the whole shtick was that they were doing things behind my back and being stupid, and that's where the funny moments came in. And they were all useless, and I was getting aggravated at them being useless, and that was the whole.
I've always been more of an introvert, except where I performed for 3,000 people.
Well, I
as
have
head
been
boy
an
mafia
introvert,
boss.
but I don't know how that came about. I don't know how I gained the ability to do that somehow, but I did it, and that's what happened. I ended up coming second. I was a nobody in school before when the head boy votes were notified.
What the hell is a head boy?
I'm googling head boy.
It's
Okay.
like the
Careful.
With search on. Don't worry. Is
But-
that BLI or BLY?
Is it like class president?
yeah, essentially, but for the entire school.
Head girl and head boy. Head
School-
boy and head. This is so absurd. Why did they call it this? Are prominent student responsibility. The terms are commonly used in the British education system and in private schools throughout the Commonwealth organizations. Okay.
So it's like
Incidentally, this term isn't widely used in Scotland.
so it's like there's there's prefects and senior
I wanna
prefects
be
and
head
stuff,
boy.
and then the
Give
head
me
boys
head
are
boy.
like in charge of the senior prefects and what they do and serve as it's like a school president, I guess, of the students. I don't know. I guess
It's just
that's how
to
you could
buff
say
your
it.
class resume, right?
I
Just to-
guess.
Just to be like,
But yeah,
so-
I was a nobody. Like nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew my name. Nobody knew anything about me. Because like I said, I was a total introvert. I didn't hang around with everybody. Nobody knew who I was. And then there was one particular person who everybody knew. So I was just a nobody.
Yeah.
And then after doing this whole mafia shtick, I ended up at least. I got, of course, second for life. I got deputy head boy. So,
Deputy.
but based on where I started, I was the least known of the 4 people who were all going up for it by a significant margin, and I got deputy. So, but it was fun. I was the only one that continued to do, the assembly at Christmas, and then at the final leavers assembly. So the shtick and the whole thing,
That's-
mafia thing continued. It was fun.
That's pretty funny. I can understand the whole. It is easier at least for me. It is easier to perform to a crowd of people than it is for one person.
Yeah, Yeah, that's true. That is true. But there you go.
Anyway, hey, we've all done embarrassing things in our school.
I'm glad there's no video of it. There's photos, I'm sure, but there's no videos.
Yeah.
So I will have some. I can get some photos at some point if this ever comes up again. I'll get some photos of me in my mafia suit
That'd be amazing.
with my fake cigar.
Head boy.
That's great. I did the entire Thriller dance in a talent show once with my class. So
What?
we've all done.
Oh, please say there's video of that.
No, there
Has
isn't.
to
I
be.
mean, there
God.
probably is, but I don't know anyone from school anymore. So, but
Wow.
yeah, I still remember some of the moves. So it's
Wow.
Right now. Do it right now.
no, it's not happening. It's not happening. Not
We
gonna
need to have
happen.
that. We need to have that as some sort of milestone. Brough had the rap battle. You've got to have the Thriller dance, man.
Partner.
Yeah.
Partner.
Got to. It's out now.
When
That's
you get
it.
partnered, you have to Thriller.
No, I'm not agreeing to that. What do you think I am? Some kind of fool?
Well, you seem to think it'll never happen. So what have you got to lose?
And Brough thought he'd never get 100K subs either, and then he did a terrible rap battle. So I agree to nothing.
My God.
Hey,
So-
we're learning many things today.
Yeah, I learned from other people's mistakes.
Yeah. Never promise anything that you, even if you don't think it's gonna happen.
I've never done
Yes.
anything like that. That's wild.
That's fine. I
Um,
was front and center too. I wasn't like on the third row in the back left. I was in the center. I was right in the front.
It's amazing what introverts can do when when push comes to shove and it all when
Yeah.
you got to do things.
I don't know if I've ever really been an introvert, but I had like one-on-one interactions are probably like my problem. Like
Okay.
if there's a group of people, I'm pretty good. But like if it's just me and you talking, it'll get awkward pretty fast.
See, I'm completely the opposite. I'm much worse in a group of people. Say there's more than 4 people in a group, I'll never say anything. I guess.
Oh no, I like playing off an audience. You saw me at the karting.
Yeah.
I like making people laugh. You know.
Interesting. What about you, RDT?
I don't have any stories like that, honestly.
No, but are you a group person or a single person?
I like groups. I like hanging out
RDT spends every day he does getting laid and getting paid. Okay, he's a group
true.
person. He's a one-on-one person. That's all he ever does.
Yeah, I'm a one-on-one person. Maybe 3 taps. You know what I mean? Like, no, no. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty comfortable in all situations.
Yeah.
I like making people laugh. I think that's something that I like doing. I like entertaining. But I can spend. I mean, I have a couple of friends that I can't spend just one-on-one time with. I need at least like one other friend. But I think everyone has that one friend where you're like, I want to hang out with him, but I need to find out if my other friend can hang out first so that we can, have something to bounce off of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm an extrovert. I don't know, man.
Seemed like one to me.
We all need to do personality tests and figure out what we are.
Yeah, let's go to Facebook. Take a personality test.
Well, no, a proper one, not a.
Yeah, let's go to BuzzFeed and find out which
Oh, God.
Backstreet Boy member we are. Or something. I guarantee you that's a quiz.
RDT, do you want to
What?
do your Apple Juice Minute?
The 1 year.
I'm
All right,
hoping
yeah,
it's a
sure.
special one. The 1 year
No, it's-
special.
It's
No,
not
I
gonna be
shouldn't build it
special
up.
at all.
Okay, it's gonna be standard Apple Juice Minute.
Dude, I picked this out of the fridge at my job and just took it home. I was like, I'm not going to the store today. But do you mind? Do you guys hear that?
No,
That
Yeah.
was my mom.
I didn't hear that.
When are you gonna get a real job and move out of my house?
Saving up.
When,
So,
when can we have RDT's mum on as a guest?
Never.
That's
Correct
the answer, of course.
All right, apple juice. I want to hear about it.
Okay, Apple Juice Minute. So, I think everyone knows that well, maybe not everyone. Maybe a couple Republicans might not know that. Next Saturday is Cinco de Mayo. Okay, it's the day where people of Mexican descent And in Mexico, I'm not being racist. That's what they are. The people exist in Mexico. They're called Mexicans. That's just
I
what
like
they
that you
are,
have to
right?
clarify.
Get off my back for a second, right? And Cinco de Mayo is the day where they celebrate their independence. It's a great time. It's really cool. You know, every country should be able to do that. Well, I'm not celebrating their independence because it's not Cinco de Mayo, and every day is Freedom Day in the United States, and that's why I found this beer from 21st Amendment Brewery. Brew free or die, blood orange IPA. I just kind of slipped into my alter ego right there, but he's not presenting this beer. All right, this is a quaffable brew. I mean, not all that one beer wasn't the only one that's limited to being quaffable. But as you can see, you got a badass Abe Lincoln. He freed a bunch of people. George Washington chopped down a cherry tree that was really weird. Teddy Roosevelt got shot, and he was like, "Yeah, that's cool. Don't do that again." And I think that's Thomas Jefferson. Can't tell. It's I haven't had it yet actually, so I can't tell whether it's quaffable. So let's slip into this little bad boy.
First reaction. First reaction.
Tastes like a blood orange, that's for sure, and it's free. So enjoy your Cinco de Mayo. I'm gonna be sitting here drinking some American beer, and probably like a Corona next week. So,
I hear you, brother.
so
I do love blood orange. It's a good.
cheers.
There you go.
Cheers, RDT.
Happy
I love
1
that
year.
that's a thing. 1 year of doing apple juice minutes.
No, it started like episode 2, I think, or 3.
I
don't know.
did. Okay, we didn't do it originally. Okay. Well, I think it's that time. The
It's
time,
that time.
for
The prestigious moment.
We're not doing choke of the week, unfortunately, this week.
no,
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 not doing
chokers
it
of the week.
because it's choke of the year.
Holy crap!
So what we
mentioned
did is
that, I
all
think,
chose our 5 favorite chokes from all of the chokes that there's been, and then we narrowed those down to a top 5. We bashed it out. Many harsh
Yeah.
words were spoken to try
I
and
already
get to a top 5.
over the course of 10 minutes before this podcast. Good,
I
good
had
job,
mine
guys.
done last week, so you can't give me that. It was these two that were
I have
slow.
a full-time job. All right, I don't have time for this.
So do
I didn't even do mine. I just made sure that one particular choke was in the list, and that's all I cared about.
So we've got our 5. What we've decided our personal together 5 best chokes. We all have our individual favorites, but 5 best chokes, and then you guys in the chat have the honor of deciding which is the
Honor,
choke of the
prestigious
year.
honor.
This is big. You gotta make sure you choose correctly with this one.
Some
This
would say
is-
huge, even huge.
It's a
Big.
huge.
What we
Huge.
didn't discuss, there are quite high stakes with this because the winner of this, I have decided I will donate them either a £25 Steam voucher, £25 PSN voucher, or £25 Xbox voucher.
Ooh,
We didn't know
Wow.
about that.
prize.
Oh, this is
Hammer.
important.
Hammer. Give a
Laying
round
down the
of
generosity
Hammer.
here. Yeah,
Thank
round of
you.
applause for our man Hammer.
Yeah, good
He does
stuff.
so much for everybody in the community, and you should all appreciate him.
Okay, so the stakes are even higher now.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are some
Okay.
high stakes.
So we have.
medium rare.
Let's get the screen
Nobody
up.
got that.
There we go.
Or-
So first up is from week 5, Bloody Squirrels. Let's start in now. So it's Peer Race Choke, week 5, all the way back in week 5. These are in order of when they happened.
Long time ago, man. Long time ago.
Coming to the end of the Peer Race in first place. I believe this was a
we're
premium
swirling.
race.
Oh, we've slammed into the bar.
Slammed into
That's
the barrier. Passed
Ugh.
in second.
Meow.
Can't have been a
Right.
premium race. It wasn't non-contact, but still.
Right at the end.
Right at the end, right before the last.
That was
corner.
all his fault. That's
Yeah,
100%
he
his
was
fault.
he just decided to go into a barrier. The next
right.
one, Pacific Standard Job.
Now,
And-
where does this?
This is the final. We're gonna start
Hold on,
it.
let me-
We're gonna skip to 6:20 because why not? So skipping there now. So
I
we're
wonder
at
what
the end
happened
of
at
Pacific
6:20.
Standard.
Oh, we're in the dinghy. We're about
Full
to.
They
take.
haven't lost a
Perfect.
single
Hey,
dollar.
Not
Yeah.
a single dollar lost. Full take.
What week is this from again? By
This
the
is
way.
from week 7.
So
From
another
Paint
early
Magnet.
one.
So we're at the end.
Yeah, that's wild. How'd they do this without losing a single dog?
Excellent performance. 1.25
All right,
million.
and they're off.
And that's it. They're done. They're done at this point. They're done. They've
Yeah.
got it
Oh, rock.
finished.
You,
Oh,
What?
no. Yeah, hit a rock
Oh,
up onto
no.
the beach.
ha,
Oh. As Lester is being very happy on the phone, they've beached it.
no one has told him yet.
No one's told Lester. That's it. They're not getting it out. Because if we skip a little bit further to, say, 750, they're trying their best to push it out, and then it gets on fire, and
Wow.
it explodes.
That's rough, man.
That one
That's-
hurts the soul.
Pacific Standard, perfect heist, perfect cut, all gone.
Damn.
So, next up,
so,
right, from Hero to Zero, this next one,
By Jonty.
episode 9 from Jonty.
Yeah.
Hits the
Put
sign,
our
hits
foot
the
down on
barrier
this clip here.
from first place, drops down into third.
fantastic start.
But I mean, he's still in third at least, you know. It's
Yeah.
on the North Loop, the old North Loop. There's a long way to go, I guess. He's doing all right in the Nero
What a
Custom. He's
classic track.
got a good chance. Got good top speed for this track.
You know, he could.
Oh, then he hits another barrier.
Ooh.
That knocks him down to fourth.
Not what you
Nope,
want to see.
fifth. Nope, sixth. Sorry. Seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th.
And the-
He's just getting past left, right, and center, and then he decides to go into someone.
Right into the person that he could have easily avoided.
Yeah, he
Could have gone
turns
any
into
direction.
him,
But
You
he
can
went
see he was good.
into.
and now he's
Just-
having to wait for the person that he knocked off that he could have avoided.
Just
He's ended up from the lead to being in 11th place. Now, straight quickly to
everything that
GTA
he's
3.
done is his own fault.
Straight quickly to GTA 3. This was episode 11 from
Just pull her in
50015028
nice and easy.
and exploded. We'll play that again just because it was so quick. Oh no, never mind. It's gone to the next video.
Boom.
My bad.
End of the, for anybody that doesn't realize, that's the end of the mission.
Yeah, right at the end of the mission, he drove it into the garage and then exploded, wasted. Mission over. That was from week 11.
Clip now.
So we've had week 5, 7, 9, and 11. And now the next one, which is not loading for me because it's being a scumbag. There we go. The final one is from episode 26, week 26 from Johnny on
Johnny!
Forza, what is it?
10
Forza,
out of 10 laps. 3%
Forza
fuel.
6, there we go. 10 out of 10 laps. Final lap of the race. At Spa.
A grueling race in the rain.
In the rain, grueling.
In
He's
an elegy.
in an elegy. He's in the lead. Final chicane. And he's run out of fuel.
Oh no.
And
This
he's
come on.
coasting to the line.
This is just heartbreaking.
From the
Oh,
final
forward-
chicane. And there's second place, third place, fourth place,
Come on,
Fifth,
just keep
sixth.
going. Come on, there's no way.
7th, 8th. This is an online race. The last lap of 10 laps. Half an hour he's been in this race.
He can't just swerve in
The
front of somebody.
final chicane. And you just see every single person go past.
It's right
Even 2 people went around the outside.
The end is right there.
He's literally ending up in last place.
He's just hoping someone rear ends him. Oh
Man,
god.
That is
heartbreaking,
painful.
man.
That is painful. So, those are our 5 choices.
Those are
It was
your 5
difficult.
top jokes of the year.
There were many that we had in our final lists that we've had to cut out because we wanted to settle on a 5 that we all agreed on.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
tough.
So
That was probably
some
the
near
hardest thing.
misses. We enjoyed all the chokes this year, of course, but this is for the absolute choke of the year. Who's gonna win? We got episode 5 from Bloody Squirrels with the Pier Race. We got episode 7 with Paint Magnet and the Pacific Standard Heist. Episode 9 was Jonty with the North Loop Capitulation. Episode 11 was MD00150028 with the GTA 3 Mission Failure. And then episode 26, Johnny 362,000 with the Forza 6. Again, capitulation from
The fuel
the
management.
fuel management was
Excellent
not there.
fuel management
The final
by Johnny.
chicane as well. For that to
He was
happen.
gonna win head boy.
So you guys in the
So,
chat,
get your
you guys
votes
who are
in.
here watching live, you have the decision on this. Click the straw poll, get your vote in. All votes matter, all votes count. We have our choices as well, which will go towards that as well. But make sure this is the time when you got to get your votes in. Make sure you get those votes counting to choose the choke of the year. Which was the best? Which one was your favourite choke for the entire year? Let's see. And then now we need a bit of filler. We need to figure out what we can do as filler when these things happen every week, when we're waiting for people to vote.
We're talking about being head boy again.
Let's not. No, we don't need to talk that
So
about
is that a
it again.
boy that gives?
Head boy, come here.
Finally, as an audio listener, was able to get here to live vote. Good stuff, Randochi. Shout out to
Hey,
Randochi.
Rand. Look at that.
You the perfect one to come to live to watch to get your vote in.
Yeah,
you know,
because
you can make a difference here today.
Prize.
Jesus. Yeah, now it's gonna
Honourable
do the thriller,
mentions.
man.
I have an honourable mention to Oleg's. I can't remember which week it was, but when he let Mr. Boss for the win beat him, it was a good choke. Didn't quite make the final 5, but that was an honourable mention at least.
There was one where people got stuck in signs. And I was like,
Yeah,
hilarious.
there was K-Dog early on. Wasn't it the first ever choke of the week? K-Dog won that.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
somebody
so.
else did that as well in the same sign, I'm pretty sure. And they both won the choke of the week. They were honourable
Yeah.
mentions for just being ridiculous, but not strictly speaking, I would say chokes.
Oh, yeah.
I've put Oleg's in the chat if you wanted to show it or whatever.
Yeah, Oleg's. He was hot dogging, you know? I don't know if that was really a joke. You hear me, Oleg?
It's my first podcast. Can I get a too long didn't read for the past year? No, Baron, you can't.
Yeah,
back and
we'll
watch.
show the honourable mention whilst we're waiting for the votes to come in. End of the race. With it being... Oh yeah, he badly miscalculated that. And it made it worse by who beat him.
Yeah, and that actually was him, too.
Yeah, the actual, as you'll see the name at the end.
The GTA Lord
The
Voldemort.
fact that he comes right over the top of him right at the very end as well. Like, you don't even notice.
Voldemort.
Less than a tenth of a second between them. Mr. Boss for the win beats him. But with it, I think with it only being
Shut up,
really,
copyright.
it was only 2-minute race. It was against, it wasn't necessarily against the most difficult of contenders.
He almost beat him, too, after having to respawn. So.
Yeah. So it was. We didn't feel like it was our top 5, but definitely an honourable mention.
So we've had 91 votes so
Very
far,
nice.
and there are 10 votes separating the top 2.
Ooh.
10
Get your
votes
votes
separating
in,
the top
guys,
2.
come on.
Okay,
We got nearly 200 people in. We could do better on the votes than that. Come on.
that's still more than what we normally get, though. To be fair.
You literally just have to click the thing and pick if you've been watching.
Yeah, it's very, very easy. You can do it on mobile very easy. You can do it on desktop very easy.
Easily. Easily. Right.
No, very easy. I know how to speak. Don't you
This
tell
is
me how to speak.
this is interesting. I'm very nervous about what's gonna win. This is big. Choke of the
Yeah, I
year.
know. I know my choke of the year is not going to win.
No,
but-
you don't think?
No, it just wasn't
Choky
as
enough.
grand. It didn't, and the scenario wasn't as severe. Like,
Hmm.
but whatever, man. Yeah.
I'm. I know
Just click it.
my choke.
Someone told me that it looked like Shia LaBeouf one time.
A little bit, maybe.
Just click it.
All right. So is it pretty much stopped at this point? The vote. Should we?
Pretty
we
much.
give our
let's,
thoughts?
let's cap it off. 95 votes.
All right. So, Andy T, do you want to say what your vote is for? Your favorite choke?
Yeah, sure. I roasted him a little bit earlier because of his comment, but Jonty, I thought your choke was hilarious. Just because, you know, you can brush off the first crash. You're like, oh god, that was terrible. That was rough. But then you decide to try to curb boost again and like smack into a pole. You're like, shit, things aren't looking good here. And then when you turn up the road, there's a guy swerving out of the way off the track, and you decided to go right into him. What are you doing, bro? That was my favorite. Hero to Zero. That was my favorite for the year.
Good stuff. Yeah, it was a total capitulation.
Just like, what are you doing?
The only reason I didn't
Johnny.
put that higher is because it was so early in the race. I think that was my like, the
that's-
actual
yeah.
choke itself was incredible, but with it being so early, I didn't have that as my favorite, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
Nos, what's yours?
Johnny,
Hey, don't tell us
I
what it is.
misread the transition there. I didn't know you had something else to say about that clip. I
Sorry.
apologize. That's what I do. I just shout over everybody on this podcast. You need to kick me off. You need to put your foot down. But my favorite choke is Johnny. A, because I am biased towards him, and B, because, like, you know, you run out of fuel in the back straight to Spa, you know, that's understandable. You run out of fuel, you know, coming into the last lap, that's understandable. But to run out of fuel at the finish line, literally at the finish line, it's not good. It's not good. That's bad.
It's definitely not good.
That's bad. That's a bad fuel
That's
management.
pretty much, I wouldn't advise. That's pretty not
Yeah.
good as far as things go.
No,
That's
so-
where my vote goes to as well, because I think
Yeah.
when you consider that was a half-hour long race online in the rain at Spa,
So hard. So much
and
at stake.
second place was right behind him as well. It's not as if this was a easy race that he was way out in the lead. He was pushing, he was in the lead, he got round the final chicane, final corner, straight, the finish line's right in front of him, fuel gone, and then literally every single person in the race goes past him. And it
That's
was
awful.
just, it was a brilliant choke. But let's see the results, MB Hammer.
Hello. Yes, results. I'm professional. Sorry, I was doing something. Right. So, in fifth place, with 2% of the votes, was just put her in nice and easy. The old GTA 3 choke by MD, followed by some numbers. In fourth place, we've got choke number 1 from Bloody Squirrels, the problems that he had with the peer race, with 5% of the vote.
Oh, I thought that one was so good.
In third place, choke number 3 from Hero to Zero by our mate Jonty.
Bringing on the bronze.
All right, Browns.
Bring
Not
home
bad for the year.
bronze. And in second place was our Pacific Standard heist failure by Paint Magnet with
Congratulations, Johnny.
Johnny!
8% of the
You-
vote.
What was the vote difference numbers?
So the heist got 37 votes and 46 votes to Johnny. So
Damn.
Excellent.
So, Johnny, congratulations. I will get in contact with you about getting your prize for Choke of the Year.
It shouldn't be too hard to find him. He's everywhere.
That was, I mean, I think I
He's
said it
under
at the time when we voted on that for the choke of the week in episode 26. I think I said that's the best choke of that's going to be choke of the year. And
Yeah.
it really
It's
was.
great.
Let's
It's an
play it one
amazing
more
joke.
time just to show everybody the choke of the year.
Johnny, in a year filled with spectacular jokes and extraordinary circumstance, you stood out amongst the rest.
Yeah.
To come out on top really displays a lack of skill that is almost inhuman. So
It's amazing.
it's very impressive how bad you truly are, Johnny.
I'm surprised he doesn't wake up gasping at night just because he chokes so hard. Like,
It's a level of excellence in ineptitude.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
there we go.
It was so good. This choke really was it fit all the criteria that me and RDT specifically look for in chokes. Nos is a bit more open to what a choke can be, but me and RDT are very strict on what can be a choke.
Yeah, I'm open. I'm open. I don't judge. I don't. If you
But
want to
this was-
self-identify as a choke, you can self-identify as a choke.
This was a
Whenever
quintessential choke. Absolute perfect choke. The last part
That is
of the
beautiful.
final lap of a long race in the lead ends up at the back.
There's
You can tell it's been a rough race. Look at the state of the car.
He's
there's a
he's-
quote that I really like. That's it's something along the lines of like be uncommon amongst uncommon people, and he was just subpar amongst just the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when you can't even hit the bar of the worst that we have to offer, that's pretty bad. So congratulations, Johnny, and enjoy your prize for the year. You're a world
Absolutely.
champion.
Absolutely. Good job.
Bravo.
Good job. Bravo. And then we're going to start it up all again. And we'll see what's
Yeah.
going to be the choke of the year this time next year.
Yeah.
That's it. That's our
1 year
Our
down. Holy hell.
one year
Yeah.
of this podcast.
year.
Can you believe it? We've all changed
Year have
places.
I had just
We've grown.
during this podcast,
Yeah.
like this year. That's crazy.
That's yeah.
A
That's
toast. Here's
a
to another
toast.
year,
Yeah,
boys.
here's to another year of the
another
podcast. On to bigger and better things. I don't have any drink left. I should have had a beer for this episode. I
I don't
didn't
have
think.
anything to drink.
And thank you guys for watching us during this year. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you'll continue to enjoy it. We're going to try and keep improving with the setup and the layout that we have and the guests that we bring on and all that kind of stuff. I feel like the stress and the pressure of the Mr. Boss for the Win episode, I'd be okay if we didn't have that every time. But we want to bring on some returning guests as well that we have had on before. And yeah, I'm looking forward to another year of great podcast. So yeah, thank you guys for all watching or listening. For those of you who only listen
Yes.
on Spotify or iTunes, and if you want to see the choke of the year, if you're only a listener, get onto YouTube and watch this episode. YouTube.com/Broughy. If you've never seen anything I do, it's well worth a watch. The choke of the year, it's a good one.
Yes,
Yeah, very
that
good.
it is.
And the word for this this podcast. So that if you've made it all the way to the end, the word. Oh wait, we didn't do the word from episode 27.
Wait,
Oh
what did you
yeah,
do
the
there?
stats on that?
homework. Sure, we'll do that.
So Phil went and did the comments, went and did his homework. So this was episode 27, which was our brief chat about the Supersport series DLC.
Yeah.
And at the time Phil did his homework, we had 145 comments in total. And the two things that you asked them to comment on was hashtag RIP Broughy's Racing Corner and hashtag race car spelled backwards. So let me know what you think for each of those. How many comments?
I think 35. That's going to be my guess for
47 and a
both.
half.
RDT
35 for the
33, baby.
Okay, so we'll do RIP Broughy's Racing Corner first. How many?
Well, no, it's, can we do like both, or is it separate?
It's separate.
Rip Broughy's Racing Corner.
I'm going to up that
and a
to
half.
like 38.
Okay.
34.
Okay. Nice.
Nice.
Oh, 47 and a half. I'm sticking with
For
47
the, for the
and a half.
Racing Corner alone, really?
Yes, 47
Okay,
and a half.
RIP Broughy's Racing Corner came in at 36.
Ooh.
Oh, I said 35 initially, and then I said 38. I should have stuck with
Yeah, but that
35.
doesn't count because you changed it.
God damn.
Brutal.
And then we've got hashtag race car spelled. Now we've got hashtag actual race car spelled backwards,
Yeah, a lot
or
of people did that.
hashtag the word race. It went hashtag RACECARSPELED BACK.
and all variations thereof.
And all variations
Yeah.
thereof, yes. So those are all grouped together. So
I'm going to go back to my original 35.
okay,
I'm going to go 27 for that one.
all right.
7.
Seven.
No, $1. $1, Drew. $1. $1.
All right. So the correct answer for that one was 34.
Oh, wow. I guessed the right one last
There
time.
you go.
Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Good stuff. I'm starting to get into it. Like, as I'm reading through the comments, I'm getting a mental picture of approximately how many each time now that I know that this is happening. Good stuff. So this time, the word, if you made it this far to the podcast, leave in the comments of the YouTube video happy birthday, Nos. Since this will be going up on his birthday. On Nos's birthday, on the Monday. That was what I initially thought when you mentioned that it was your birthday on Monday during this podcast. And then people have said head boy, so I guess you might as well put
Head
in.
boy is the secondary.
Head boy is the secondary.
Like, this is your last couple of days of being 13. Like, how does it feel?
Feels pretty good. I'm excited to go into high school.
And happy birthday podcast as well. Let's have 3.
But...
Happy birthday, Nos.
Phil's
Happy birthday,
gonna have-
podcast. And happy
Phil's
birthday.
going to have his work cut out for him. What a shame.
Well, we could just count the people who say all 3 of them. You know,
Yeah.
we could just have one count. No, you got to mention all 3. You got to say all 3 things, and that gets you the count. I think we should do that. Happy birthday, Nos. Happy birthday. Don't do hashtags though. Don't do hashtags because they all come up on as held for review on the comments and they don't show up. So don't do hashtags. Just the words.
really?
Happy birthday, head boy. Happy birthday, podcast. Happy birthday, Nos. And then head boy. God damn it. I'm losing all the. Oh my god.
Do I get to self-promote as my birthday present now?
Yeah, okay.
Hey, all right. So welcome to the Nas self-promotion hour.
Hour.
My name is Nas, and as we have discussed, it is my birthday Monday. So if you really want to come out and support me, I'm going to be doing a special stream on Monday. It's going to be Red Dead Redemption, 21st birthday. I'm going to celebrate my favorite game of all time, Red Dead Redemption. We're going to be doing we talked about speed running earlier with Josh. We're going to be doing an any % run on Red Dead Redemption. Should take anywhere from 5 to 7 hours. And I'll be doing it all in one go, the whole story, all in one go. So if you'd like to come out and support me on my birthday and watch some Red Dead Redemption any % runs, come on out and do that. And Digi brings up a good point. If you want to donate some money to the Miata Fund, I'm going to buy a Miata with my...
You're going to buy a Miata?
Yes, I'm buying a Miata. So if you want to donate to the Miata Fund, you can do that as well.
So that's you and Brough both looking for Miatas at the moment.
What, are you
Yes.
serious?
I guess I have to get a Miata.
Have you not been
I'll drive a
watching
Honda
the
Accord.
real life racing videos?
Oh, are you actually like wanting a Miata?
I'm looking to race MX5s.
Yeah, well, I'm buying an NA. I'm gonna find an NA and I'm gonna buy it. So, anyway,
There you go.
25,000? That's not that bad.
What for?
I might buy a Miata. Let's all get Miatas. Let's get
Wait, 25,000? I'm definitely not looking for
For a new one.
that's a
I-
brand
Okay,
new MX-5.
right.
No,
For
you don't
brand
want the
new
new
2018.
MX-5.
Not
Look,
to race.
The head's too angry. You need the NA. You need those big happy eyes that, and just the innocence of a Mazda Miata.
Do you know who actually owns a Mazda MX-5 right now?
Who?
Tony.
Really?
Yeah, he does.
Wow. We'll have to get him on the podcast.
When we get him on the podcast, we'll all, we should all get MX-5s and we'll all be MX-5 owners.
We all have to do
Yeah.
them from our Miatas.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my carport is like right there, so I could rig it up if I wanted to do the podcast from my Miata. I could.
Hear my Miata. But you know what I care more about material Miatas? All right, we need to end this thing now.
So our guest next week will be a Mazda MX-5.
Yeah, Tony is actually selling it. That is true. Since he's got a baby on the way, but he's
Children
he has...
ruin everything. That's our next topic. Children ruin everything. All right.
All right, we shall end it there. Remember the 3 comments that you need to, with the 3 words that you need to put in your comment, alongside any other comments that you want to make. Happy birthday, Nos. Happy birthday, podcast, and head boy. Let's do that. Or any variations of those things that will count
The
them.
more
will be
eyes
free.
you put on the end of head boy, the better your comment will be. Whoever puts the most eyes on the end of head boy will get a shout out by me.
So I've stopped them getting hashtags. The hashtags aren't going to get them put up on the Held for Review, but
head boy.
oh my god.
We will play it on the podcast.
All comments will be marked as spam. This is ridiculous. All right, guys, we're gonna thank you guys for watching again for this entire
Yeah,
year.
thanks so much.
I've enjoyed it. Have you guys enjoyed it?
Yeah, all you do for us, thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Been a great
we
year.
appreciate it. All right,
If you're
guys.
watching this on Monday, that means I'm streaming. So come watch me stream instead of watching the garbage. Goodbye.
See you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.